Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it. My name's Jay Milne. #Blue. Our sports update deliverer. The Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid? You might be on to something. All right, here's what's going on in the Nashville.
All right, well, are you celebrating or mourning today? The Edmonton Oilers have traded Stuart Skinner to the Pittsburgh Penguins. There are, of course, other parts of the deal, but that would be the headline. Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a second-round pick in 2029. That's thinking ahead. Go to the Penguins for goalie Tristan Jarry and Samuel Poulin. He's a forward as well. The Oilers made another trade. They sent a third-rounder in 2027 to Nashville for defenseman Spencer Stastney. So, obviously, very significant here. Tristan Jarry having a pretty good season, 9-3-1, 2.66 goals against average, and a .909 save percentage. Skinner, of course, good lately. Decent start to the year, then kind of wasn't great along with the rest of the team. Better lately. Pretty good last night in a 4-1 win over Detroit. Boy, it seems like that game was 2 weeks ago already, given everything we've been talking about today. So Skinner is out, one of the most talked about players with our audience on Edmonton Sports Talk. And we will talk about him more today and this deal. You, of course, are encouraged to get in touch. We would like to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. We'll have some clips along the way from Stan Bowman and Kyle Dubas, the two general managers who pulled off this trade. Feel free to text us, 780-218-9999. That's the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com or jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. You may be getting us on iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio. Those are excellent audio applications. Thank you for doing so. Spread the word about Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. And you may be on YouTube as well. If you haven't already subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk, please do so. And if you are taking us in on YouTube, do not delay. Click the thumbs up button.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
We try to get to at least 100 thumbs every show. Let's get there in the first half hour today. Get in there and click. And once you've clicked, then click share and send the show link off to somebody else. So you're going to hear from Bowman and Dubas. We're going to have Seth Rorabaugh on the show. He covers the Penguins for the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. What's going on with Jarry? Why would they trade him? How's he going to play here? All that kind of stuff. Mark Masters from TSN. He covers the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's going to be on the show in about 16 or 17 minutes, making his debut on the Reid Wilkins Show. So that's going to be fun. And as I've stressed, plenty of time for you. Actually, we've set aside, we'll of course read stuff along the way, but we've set aside a couple of segments for listener and fan reaction. Jay has already compiled some things he found on Twitter from both Oil Country and the Penguin fan community. I was going to say the Igloo, but that's kind of the nickname for their rink or their old rink.
Both sides of the ledger.
Well, I don't know what Penguins fans are called. The Waddlers? Waddle Nation.
Waddle Nation.
So we'll have reaction from Oil Country and from Waddle Nation. Or Tuxedo Country, maybe?
Yes.
The Tuxedo Army?
Tuxedo.
Something like that.
Waddling Tuxedo
There's
Army.
got to be a Pittsburgh fan in the chat or who can text us and say, what do you call your fan group? I mean, or you know, the team kind of, the Oilers kind of have Oil Country.
They could just be called the March of the Penguins.
They could be called the March of the Penguins.
So we'll get reaction from Oil Country and the March of the Penguins.
And the March of the Penguins. There we go. All coming up between now and 6 o'clock. By the way, the Oilers game tomorrow, 5 o'clock at the Toronto Maple Leafs, as some would call them. So 5 o'clock game, 4 o'clock right here on EST. Tom Gazzola will host the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show, and then same times on Sunday. 4 o'clock pregame show, 5 o'clock game as they play the Montreal Canadiens. But a lot to get to between now and then. Let's fire a clip here right off the top. Here is Stan Bowman, GM of the Oilers, sort of making a general comment about the deal today.
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of work on this position. Obviously, it gets a lot of attention. Tristan's had a really consistent performance as a pro, really up until last season. So certainly that was something we look into and wanted to see how he started this year. And, we've watched him very closely and we've been impressed with his performance over the course of his career. I think he's shown to be a very solid goaltender. A lot of the metrics that we track, he's been very good on those for many years in a large sample size. So, I just felt it was time for something different. I think it's not so much a comment on the Stuart Skinner. It's just really maybe time for something different here. And, but I think we wanted to make sure that the person we were bringing in, we felt confident, the fact that he's got 2 more years on his contract. So, we have our goalie for the next 3 playoff runs, which I think is important, knowing that he is signed and it's a number that we're going to be able to manage well in our salary cap over the coming couple seasons. So I think those factors did play a role. When you add it all up, it wasn't just about, a couple games here or there. It was about a career sample size and the fact that he's going to be with us for 3 playoff runs.
All right. Yeah. Signed for the rest of this year and 2 years beyond this. And again, Brett Kulak also part of this deal. We'll break it down. A big part of this is your reaction today. I was on the Hangout earlier today from 9 to 11. It was pretty fresh then. As I'm used to experiencing with something like this, it's kind of all over the map coming in. I have found generally, and I don't want anybody to take this personally. This is just my observation. I'm not taking shots at anybody. And let's face it, you as fans know you can be a little wacky sometimes, right? So I don't think I'm saying anything that you as fans wouldn't say to each other. Oilers fans are incredibly passionate, not always incredibly grounded. But definitely there's some like, trade somebody, get rid of Skinner, get a goalie. And then it happened. Well, not that goalie. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why this one? So we can break that down. Jay Milne has not had a chance to talk about this on air today. So you can kind of give your Coles Notes thoughts here. We got Mark Masters coming up. But you take a minute or two here and what's been bubbling around in your mind.
Well, yeah, that's been the most talked about position on this team for the past 2-3 seasons. This team doesn't have the right goaltender. They don't have a true number 1 goaltender. Did they get it today? I don't know, Reid. I don't know how this is going to pan out. I mean, if you look at their careers, they have very similar numbers. In fact, their goals against average over their career is identical. 2.74 over their career. Okay? Jarry's played longer than Skinner. He's older than Skinner. Both fan bases have said, you've heard it all day, that both players probably looking to make a change. Okay? So, hey, that could work out well for Skinner. That could work out well for Jarry. The thing I focus on, Reid, is was Stuart Skinner or Brett Kulak part of the future plans for this organization? Many would believe that at the end of this year, they would go out and find a number 1 goaltender, a.k.a. Stuart Skinner exiting. Brett Kulak was also to be believed to be in that camp as well. So at the end of the day, you're getting rid of or moving on from 2 players that probably weren't going to be here in the future. You're getting back a goaltender. Jury's out on the goaltender. I'll admit that. Nobody knows. For a 2nd-round pick in 2029. Okay? And as you alluded to earlier on the Hangout, this move was done with enough time to now assess this team moving towards a trade deadline to shore up more positions of weakness. So I don't mind it. I think Stuart Skinner's days here were numbered. Now, the deals of the trade and how that went down, giving up Kulak, I could see, like Kulak was very well liked. Stuart Skinner was very well liked, although polarizing in discussing him on gameplay. Both very well liked people, right? But this is a business and you have to make decisions. I certainly hope that this works out well. I hope that this works out well for Stuart Skinner, for Brett Kulak, and for Tristan Jarry coming back to Edmonton from his days as an Oil King, lives here in the offseason. You know, I think somebody in his life is from here. So he's going to have some incentive to want to play here and play well and you know, hopefully get this team what the ultimate goal is a Stanley Cup.
Well, this is now, I mean, you mentioned the contract length. I mean, that's a fair comment. There was a risk that if you let both Kulak and Skinner go to free agency, you have them, you get nothing for them
exactly
by next year. That is one way to look at that. I can't argue that. Bowman said, "Now we have our goalie for 3 playoff runs."
Yes.
So this is the goalie for the remainder of McDavid's contract. He's in the final year of his current contract, and then he has 2 years that he signed an extension for, which is basically the same amount of money. Now, are the moves done? I don't know, because I think they can still do stuff on defense. Do they want to do something else with the goaltending? Do they want to try to look, I realize Pickard's very popular. He's a great story for how he performed last year and how he performed in relief in the playoffs. His numbers have him as one of the worst goalies in the NHL this season, and he's going to play every 4th game at the very least. So could something else be coming? Like, how do people feel about a Jarry-Pickard tandem right now? I don't know. We want you to tell us. But that's another thing to look at.
Well, so, and we've talked about this, Reid. There's been trade rumors for goaltenders over the past few weeks. The Oilers are limited in the options that they have in terms of movable pieces. Brett Kulak was really one of the only movable pieces that you could combine with Stuart Skinner's salary and make something happen. So, I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks ago when the Binnington rumors were going around. Those are the 2 pieces that could shake free.
Right.
So I'm not surprised that happened. But yes, it's a lose-lose situation here. And now the weight of the literal Oilers world is squarely resting on the shoulders of Tristan Jarry. Fair or not, this young man has a lot to prove here in Edmonton, because the assumption is, well, he's got to be better. I mean, save percentage, sure. He has a .909 save percentage, but there's a lot of pressure on Tristan Jarry coming in to Edmonton.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
For better or worse, yes.
Tell you what, let's get a quick update here from the world of sports. It is your afternoon headlines. They are presented by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Stream them on iHeart today.
This is Chet Palmer with your sports report. The Oilers have their hand in the cookie jar. Stash, Stewie, and Cool Brett are heading to Pittsburgh. Don't forget your parkas, boys. You're playing in the igloo. Last night, old reliable Hyman sent the hats flying while Captain Connie was handing out apples everywhere. The Maple Laughs are up next. Careful, you might be leaving the rink on a stretcher. Hey, it's our Christmas staff party tonight. Want to bet we have a good time? Well, my brother-in-law just put a C-note on it. I'm Chet Palmer.
Oh, Chet.
Well, I don't know where he found a line. On the how much
jar.
fun the cookie jar. But I don't know where the brother-in-law found a line. I don't know what book that was in.
He deals with, I think,
these offshore, off-book books.
Yes, off-book books.
Yes,
that's where Chet Palmer's brother-in-law deals.
Yeah, I don't know where. I mean, I'd ask Chet, but he's in here. He does and then he leaves. We never get a chance to talk to him. So anyway, that was Chet Palmer with the sports report for 100.3 The Bear. All right, we do have Mark Masters coming up in a few minutes. It'll be good to talk to Mark because we do want to spend a little bit of time teeing up the game tomorrow. It's always there's always a lot of hype. Saturday night, Maple Leafs, Oilers. Maple Leafs, I would say in general, again, I'm speaking in generalities. I know there may be specific people who might push back on this. I would say in general, the Maple Leafs, one of the most hated teams in oil country. Fair. Probably up there with Calgary and Vancouver and Toronto. Would those be the top 3? I'd say if you did a poll, there was a painful loss to the Leafs last year in Toronto when the Oilers had the lead and Bouchard turned the puck over a couple times in the third period.
Really?
And Toronto wound up winning in overtime. I still remember that one. So that'll be a fun one to talk about as well. And maybe Tristan Jarry makes his Oilers debut in Toronto on a Saturday night. Wouldn't that be fun? I think he should. But we'll see. We still, of course, have our off-topic topic, which is presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be, is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. So, big story today. So we had to tie this in to the big story, and Jason Milne came up with, I think, quite a brilliant idea.
Well, the last time Tristan Jarry was here, he led the Oil Kings
as a player.
To be
fair, we're
sure.
gonna have some.
We're just gonna have fun with it. Okay, we know he's here in the offseason. All right, so just for your own sake, the last time he played here was a member of the Oil Kings, won the Memorial Cup.
Yeah,
was in 2014. So what's the biggest thing in Edmonton? Let's say Tristan Jarry hadn't been here in the offseason.
Yeah.
And he's coming back. Hey, I know Edmonton. I've been there.
Up, Tristan.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Tristan, here's one that I came up. Sears has closed.
Yeah, the biggest change in Edmonton since 2014.
Sears has closed.
You got
Hudson's Bay has closed.
You got 7 seconds to talk to Tristan Jarry.
Just FYI.
Yeah, he calls you up. I'm going to pick a random name out of the nasty chat here. I don't know.
Oh, and by the way, you heard of Ice District? It's a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot has changed in Edmonton since 2014. What would be, do you think, the biggest change, the biggest shock value to somebody that hasn't been here in 12 years?
Yeah.
Welcome to Alberta's capital city. Where did the City of Champions go?
Oh,
where'd the sign go?
Where's the sign?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
He's probably driving right now from Pittsburgh, listening, wanting to see that sign. And the only place you'll find it is on a Budweiser can.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. So, yeah, there's the off-topic topic for William Huff. You got 7 seconds to talk to Tristan Jarry about how Edmonton's changed since he was an Oil King. What are you going to tell him?
Bronco Knicks. Target has closed. Spency 5 Spency. Shanks is closed.
No Target. There you go.
Well, a big one that affects everybody sitting in this studio right now is TSN 1260 is no longer.
That's right.
They're gone.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Edmonton Sports Talk.
Edmonton Sports Talk is here. So there we go. That's our off-topic topic for William Huff. You can reach us in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. If you haven't clicked the thumbs up button already, please do so. We're at 75, so we need 25 to get to 100 in half an hour, in the next 13 minutes. So certainly very achievable. It's something we do for, if you're new today, we like if you hit the thumbs up. Just don't hit it twice because then it'll cancel it.
Yes.
So
Rookie mistake.
So hit the thumbs up and then hit share and send the show off to somebody else. Okay, more comments from Stan Bowman and Kyle Dubas, the two GMs for Pittsburgh and Edmonton, as we move through the afternoon. We are going to have from the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review on the show at 4 o'clock, Seth Rorabaugh. He covers the Penguins. He'll know a lot about Tristan Jarry. And when we get back, really special guest going to join us, Mark Masters from TSN. Here comes the Coop.
The Oilers have traded Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick to the Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and 24-year-old forward Samuel Poulin. Another trade for the Oilers saw Edmonton sending a third-round pick in 2027 to Nashville in exchange for defenseman Spencer Stastney. Following the trade with Edmonton, Pittsburgh has placed Matt Dumba on waivers. The 31-year-old is in the final year of his 2-year contract worth just under $4 million per season. On the ice, the Hawks and Blues face off with the Kraken and Mammoth have a dance with just 2 games in the NHL tonight. Meanwhile, Bo Horvat of the Islanders will miss up to 3 weeks with a lower body injury he sustained yesterday against the Ducks. NFL news, the Jets will start rookie Brady Cook Sunday in Jacksonville, with Cook making his debut last week in a loss against the Dolphins. To the association, Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs is probable for tomorrow's game against the Thunder. He's been out since mid-November with a calf strain, and there's 7 games tonight, including the Nets and Mavericks hitting the hardwood. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Get your home holiday ready with Paramount Flooring. For over 33 years, Paramount's family-owned business has a reputation for earning trust with fair pricing, dependable service, and quality workmanship. Call 780-483-1991 and mention EST for 10% off. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life you live. TSN's Mark Masters checks in next. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
Hired or fired. Of the last 10 years, Cam Talbot would be at or near the top of the list for the Oilers, the one that got away.
Does that have a time limit?
Let's go back. We'll use the McDavid era.
Yeah, I would have to say he's kind of one that got away. I never understood the signing of Mikko Koskinen. It's not like he was shooting the lights out.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
We have what you're looking for. GD Liquidators is Edmonton's one-stop shop for new and used warehouse, office, and industrial items since 1987. You'll find what you want when you want it. Give us a call, visit us in-store, or check out the monthly auctions at gdliquidators.com. 100% Canadian-owned and operated. We have what you are looking for. GD Liquidators.
Where holiday cheer meets great beer. This season, celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. From plated dinners and festive buffets to casual pub-style parties, we've got the perfect space for your crew. Book your holiday party today at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hockey is heating up, and so is the excitement on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code EST50. That's code EST50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense.
You could set up your Christmas tree in the last available spot in the house, or you can create the space you need with Sentinel Storage. Get the most out of Christmas. Buy Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
All right, so earlier today, Jay and I both put a couple of polls on our Twitter accounts. We'll go over those later. My account at Reid Wilkins, R-E-I-D, Wilkins like Dominique. Jay is at Jason Milne, M-I-L-N-E. We'll see what the people who voted on those are thinking about a couple of different topics. Yes, the Oilers have traded Kulak and Skinner to the Penguins for Tristan Jarry. They also send a pick to Nashville for defenseman Spencer Stastney. We'll be looking into all this stuff until 6 o'clock tonight. And the Oilers play the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow. That's a Saturday night game. Those are always fun to watch. Let's go to the Oil Country Towing video hotline. Oil Country Towing, Edmonton's most trusted 24/7 roadside rescue team. Fast, safe, and reliable for over 15 years. Whether it's game day or a snowstorm, we work as hard as your favorite team to get you going. Call 780-986-6088 for all your towing needs. This gentleman is making his debut as a guest on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I hope it's not his last appearance. From TSN, Mark Masters checking in. Mark, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Happy to make my debut.
Well, we're happy to have you. What a time to come on. When I texted you this morning, who would have thought? So, look, we still got to tee up Oilers and Leafs. There's plenty of storylines with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but like you're sitting there. You know, you've seen the Leafs play the Penguins a lot. Of course, as a Canadian reporter, you know what's going on with the Oilers all the time. What do you think of this deal for the goaltenders today?
Well, it feels like, you're waiting for that other shoe to drop, right? Like, I think the expectation was a deal may be coming here at some point. So change of scenery, and you hope you get some different results is kind of my initial reaction to it.
You would have obviously covered Kyle Dubas when he was with the Maple Leafs. I heard his media scrum today. I don't know if you had time to do that, but what's he like to deal with? Like when you see him pull off a deal like this, are you kind of like, yeah, that's something he would do, or like tell us a little bit about Dubas?
Yeah, it was great covering Kyle Dubas when he was in Toronto. Very thoughtful guy. In his last season with the Leafs, he made a number of trades at the deadline. He was kind of wheeling and dealing to try and set him up for, understanding there was a lot of pressure on him as he was in the final year of his contract. So I did not hear his media session today, but I'm sure he kind of laid out what he was thinking there. And yeah, not surprised that he would pull off a move like this.
Okay, so we got to tee up tomorrow's game a bit. Well, we might see Jarry in the game. Wouldn't that be fun? So this is interesting, right? Toronto, 14-11-5, 550 points percentage. Oilers, 14-11-6, 548 points percentage. The feeling here is, should be better. What's the sentiment out there with the Leafs with an almost identical record to the Oilers?
Yeah, it's same thing, right? Like the belief was that the Leafs were going to be a playoff team for sure, even having lost Mitch Marner. I think that the difference, of course, is the Oilers have had a track record of playoff success the Leafs are jealous of, and the Leafs have really been cruising to the playoffs for the most part, despite having some hiccups early in years in this era. They've comfortably made the playoffs for the most part during the Austin Matthews era. So there is a sense of unease in the market that it might be tougher this year. In fact, they may struggle to make the playoffs.
Mark Masters of TSN joining us here, courtesy the Oil Country Towing Video Hotline. Is one of the big stories thus far for the Leafs the amount of injuries that have piled up for them? And do you have any update on players? Are some of them close?
I think that injuries have been a storyline for every team. It feels like every team has dealt with a key player or key players missing. It's a condensed schedule. It's just the way it goes. Leafs got some good news today. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who left last night's game, and it looked kind of scary. He wasn't putting any weight on his left leg. Apparently, it's not as serious as they thought, and in fact, he hasn't been ruled out of tomorrow night's game. So that's quite something. He's been excellent for them this season, 20 points in 30 games. He's playing on the right side as a lefty. They're currently missing their two top right shot defensemen in Chris Tanev and Brandon Carlo. Carlo recently had surgery, so he's had a month at least. Tanev, they're not sure when he'll be back. He's going to get a second opinion after seeing a medical specialist this week. So his status very much up in the air, and he's one of their most important players. So the defense has kind of been ravaged right now. Their forward group intact. And then, of course, you got the goalies, right? Joseph Woll is getting very close. He won't play tomorrow, the goaltender, but he's looking like he's getting pretty close to a return. So that's good news. And Anthony Stolar, the former Oiler, doesn't look like he's close at all, hasn't been on the ice since getting hurt. So goaltending and defense, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries right now, the Leafs are, and trying to kind of navigate their way through that.
All right. So, I gotta looking at it from far away here. How much of how the Leafs are doing, and I'm sure you hear from fans all the time too, and listen to shows like this one, like how much is just like, well, let Marner go for almost nothing. Not, I don't want to downplay there was a trade, but how much is just like, well, that's 100 points to the lineup. Like, what do you expect, everybody? Like, how much is that sentiment that people maybe are angry that the Marner walked, or were they ready for him to go?
I think certainly there was a group in the fan base that was ready for a change after the Core 4 era kind of yielded so little results in the playoffs. I think, the team obviously wanted to bring Marner back, and it was tough for them to see him go. They get Nicholas Waugh back. He's kind of starting to come into his own as a third-line center, so that's good news for them that they were able to recoup something, but you let a player like that leave your organization. The expectation was there was going to be some growing pains. I don't think anyone expected it to be to a point where not long ago they were last place in the Eastern Conference. It's a weird year, right? Like so congested, and you have one good week, you're right there, and you have one bad week and you're in big trouble. It feels like only the Buffalo Sabres are really out of it, and even they are not too far behind the Leafs. So I think that there was an expectation that there was going to be a bit of a growing pain, but there's also a sense that maybe it would be a different story, right? They could use the money that Marner's cap space provided to create a deeper team. And the big issue early on was the 3 guys that they brought in to kind of eat that money that Marner left behind all got off to slow starts. I mentioned Waugh is starting to look a little bit better. Dakota Joshua has been playing with Waugh. He's looked better of late. The one guy just doesn't look like he's going to fit in is Matthias Michelli, who's been a healthy scratch here. And it just feels like he's not a Craig Berube player. It just doesn't feel like a good fit. So, and he was kind of a guy who was getting a look in the top 6. So they're still figuring out how things work without Mitch Marner. The power play has been abysmal, even though they scored in the last game. He was the quarterback. Marner was on that unit last year, that top unit. So they've struggled to fill his shoes there. And they're still kind of finding their way in this post-Marner era. But I don't think anyone anticipated it was going to be quite as bad as it was to start this season.
All right. So, I mean, I mentioned Saturday night, maybe the Jarry debut. I mean, Toronto's a hockey mad market like Edmonton. Does this crank up the hype for this game? Like, because I was saying before you came on, I think Oilers fans, if you were to do a poll, probably the 3 most hated teams by Oilers fans would be Calgary, Vancouver, and Toronto. I don't know what the order would be. What's Leafs fans' view of this? Like, are they just worried about the Leafs stuff, or are they kind of like, oh yeah, it's the Oilers, they got McDavid, they just made this trade? Like, what's the lead up for this game out there?
I mean, there's always a lot of hype around. I mean, McDavid comes to town once a year. The Oilers have a lot of star power with him and Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard. Obviously, we're in an Olympic year, so there's a lot of interesting stuff happening with the Edmonton Oilers, and obviously they've just made this trade, which has added even more kind of spice to it. So it's always a big lead up. It always tends to be an entertaining game when the Oilers and the Leafs play. Certainly the fan bases, I think that, I mean, I think all the Canadian teams have that kind of internal rivalry. And so I think there is a little extra to that Saturday night, all that. And obviously both teams trying to get kind of going here this season and get back to where they want to be. So I think all of that has kind of added a new layer of excitement to this game tomorrow night.
Mark, I appreciate you catching up. Our buddy Onright connected us, so I appreciate him for that. But I mean, I do know Mark. I see him in person occasionally. It was because of Mark Masters I found out in the Stanley Cup final that the Media Hotel was not the big one across the street from the arena. I was getting in my car in the parking lot, and I was like, Mark. And he's like, Reid. And I'm like, why are you driving? Why didn't you just walk over? And he's like, because the hotel is not here. He's like, we're somewhere else. I don't know where it was, but it's not. I'm like, oh, and then because I'd never bothered to read the email where the Media Hotel was because I didn't need. But you guys were actually just a few blocks from where the station is last year for the hotel in the West End.
It was a surprise, but it's all about the journey, right? It's all about the journey. Made it all the sweeter when we got to the arena and got a chance to get inside the doors there. So that was a bit of a curveball, but I break in all sorts of news. What can I tell you?
Yeah, driving through the construction last June. That was awesome for everybody. Yes. Okay, Mark, you're a gentleman for coming on. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy covering the game tomorrow. There may be a few media at the morning skate, maybe around a certain goaltender's locker.
I'm actually missing the game tomorrow. I'm actually about to drive to Niagara Falls tonight just to be at Hockey Canada, the start of the World Junior Camp, which starts tomorrow up in Niagara Falls. So today is actually the day I'm transitioning from the Leafs beat to the World Junior beat for another year. It is disappointing. I always feel like I miss some big games, but so that will be, I'll be watching for sure. I'll be glued, but I will miss that game and the hoopla at the morning whenever the Oilers come in. So I'm sad about that, but I'm excited. It's going to be an exciting Team Canada this year. So I'm excited to get down there and get to work and see Gavin McKenna and Dale Hunter's the coach. So it's going to be a fun World Junior year for Canada.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, that's a cool story as well. Really appreciate your time. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
My pleasure. Happy holidays, guys.
Mark Masters from TSN on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. So we wanted to get a setup of the game tomorrow because that is part of everything that's going on today. Though obviously a lot of the trade focus today. Yeah, I mean you mentioned it the other day. You asked me who's going to have a harder path to the playoffs. I think it's Toronto because of how congested things are. I mean, virtually identical record to the Oilers. The Oilers are in a playoff spot. The Leafs are not. Now, of course, things could change after 2 or 3 games, or who knows. But I do think it's going to be tougher for Toronto. And you brought it up. I mean, they've had some changes, and they're incredibly banged up.
Well, their injury report is long, to say the least. And William Nylander, I mean, he's been demoted to the third line. When did you think you'd hear that? He's got 2 points in his last 5 games.
Right.
And now he's skating on the third line, or at least he was in practice. See if that was just a wake-up call. But you know what that means, Reid, is it's probably a wake-up call and William Nylander goes off tomorrow or something like that.
What are you suggesting, Jay?
I'm just saying, if it happens, don't be surprised, okay? Don't be surprised. He might have a little bit of fire in his
Nothing
belly.
surprises me, ever.
Might have a little kick in his start.
Little kick in his start?
Pep in his step.
He's going to kickstart his heart?
Yes. Little Motley Crue.
Whoa, yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
I wonder when they were writing the lyrics, if they were like singing them, or were just like, hey, I got this lyric, guys. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Kickstart my heart, give it a start. Well, I don't know. I guess we can work with that.
Yeah. But you have to sing it really fast and really high.
Right. We're at the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Win big this football season at the Canadian Brewhouse. Enter for a trip or 2 to Super Bowl 60 plus weekly prizes and $1 off Budweiser and Bud Light tankards. Details at the CanadianBrewhouse.com. Of course, the Oilers did win last night, a 4-1 win over the Detroit Red Wings, and that will be Stuart Skinner's last appearance. Well, for now, I mean, he could come back someday, but last appearance before. Well, who knows? Didn't Sam Gagner play here 3 times?
That's true. I don't know about this one, Reid.
Well, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
What do you mean? Bowman's got his guy. 3 Stanley Cup runs. You heard it.
Yeah, 3 playoff runs for Tristan Jarry, for sure.
Got to believe.
780-218-9999 is how you text us. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. We'll have some of the prime cuts today from the media availabilities from Stan Bowman and Kyle Dubas. We're also going to have Seth Rorabaugh on the show at 4 o'clock. He covers the Penguins for the Tribune-Review out of Pittsburgh, so his perspective will be pretty interesting as well. Jay's Play of the Day, part of the segment when we get back. Here's a sports update with El Cubo.
Tristan Jarry is now an Edmonton Oiler, with Stuart Skinner and Brett Kulak being swapped to the Penguins for the 30-year-old netminder. The Penguins also received a 2029 second-rounder in the deal, having former first-rounder Samuel Poulin make his way to Edmonton Oilers. General Manager Stan Bowman made another trade, sending a 2027 third-round pick to Nashville in exchange for 25-year-old left-handed defenseman Spencer Stastney. And in the fallout of the trade with the Oilers, the Penguins have placed Matt Dumba on waivers. Dumba's in the final year of his contract, worth just shy of $4 million per season, with Dumba recording 3 points in 11 games this season. Meanwhile, Bo Horvat of the Islanders will miss up to 3 weeks with a lower body injury. He sustained that one yesterday against the Ducks. And just 2 games on today's slate, St. Louis plays host to Chicago, while the Kraken clash with the Mammoth. In NFL news, Pittsburgh's TJ Watt has undergone successful surgery to repair a partially collapsed lung after Watt was hospitalized Wednesday, feeling discomfort following treatment at the Steelers facility. And a handful of games in the NBA tonight, the Timberwolves and Warriors square off at 8 o'clock. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment. Today, the Reid Wilkins Show continues following the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
The Oil Stream.
Coach Mike says Knobloch will never be able to get 97, 29, and 2 to think defense first, will he?
Kind of.
It's just not in their DNA, man.
I think Coach Mike's onto something. I mean, these guys.
I mean, 5-on-5. I think McDavid and Draisaitl have improved a lot, but there still is a tendency where you're like, kind of flew the zone a bit early there.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Running your own small business takes courage, and as it grows, so does your team. That's why Alberta Blue Cross offers health, dental, life, disability, and wellness benefits designed for small businesses. Because we know a healthy team means a thriving business. Join over 5,000 Alberta businesses who have chosen us to help their business grow and succeed. Alberta Blue Cross takes care of you and your employees, so you can take care of your business. Visit ab.bluecross.ca to find a plan that's right for you.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Boxing Day rocks at River Cree. December 26th, live in the venue. Hysteria, tribute of Def Leppard. And Blackout, tribute to the Scorpions. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Huge noise and huge news. Well, not noise, I guess. In oil country today, Stuart Skinner has indeed been traded along with Brett Kulak to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's an Eastern Conference team. Second round pick as well in 2029. The Oilers get Tristan Jarry, goaltender, and forward Sam Poulin. The Oilers also traded a third-round pick in 2027 to the Predators for Spencer Stastney. More on him as we move along through the afternoon. There are so many ways to look at this, Jay, and we're going to get to your play of the day in a second and some messages we have coming in. There are so many ways to look at this. So let me ask this question. And this isn't just to you. This is for everybody else. Sure. Because, there's stats, and, I got some numbers we're going to bring up and stuff like that. There's the stats, there's, the playoff experience, all that kind of stuff. So what do you know? And then we're going to have some comments from Stan Bowman.
Okay.
And he was, but you never know totally what they're thinking and everything they weigh in all this. What do you think's a bigger factor? That Tristan Jarry's high end is higher than Stuart Skinner's high end, or that Tristan Jarry's low end is higher than Stuart Skinner's low end? You know what I mean? Is this how much of this trade is made because they think Jarry can perform at a higher level than Skinner?
Consistently.
Consistently.
Or more consistently.
Or how much of this trade was made because when Skinner had an off night, it often spiraled out of control, right?
Or it could be the reason that something led to an off night or started an off night.
Right. Or it's 3 goals in 6 minutes. Because I know a lot of the people have gone to that first goal stat. And last year, I think it was 6 goals in 22 games. Jarry led in the first goal. I didn't see anybody look up the stat whether or not the Penguins won or lost those games. Sometimes a goal will go in early. I think the point that maybe was part of the frustration or fear for fans having Skinner in the net is, okay, what if a goal went in 4 minutes into the game? Is that it for him? Or can he still put together a good night? And unfortunately, sometimes these periods spiraled out of control for Stu. I mean, we saw it a couple times this year. We saw it a couple times in the playoffs last year. So is Jarry better at managing that? Are his bad periods better than Skinner's bad periods? And is that also the hope as well? I mean, it's great if he can steal games and get shutouts and make 50 saves in a night or whatever if needed. But is also part of this like, okay, when Stu had a bad night, it didn't get back on the rails. I'm posing this as a question, or I'm posing this. Okay, people like to be the armchair GM. Like, what do you actually think about this? Because what have we seen? Like, I was talking about it on the Hangout this morning. Like a goaltender can do a lot. He's not everything, but he can do a lot for the energy of your team. He can. I think a goaltender maybe more than any. Like Chris Knobloch talks all the time about confidence. Can a goalie not impact confidence almost more than anybody else on the team? Oh man, he bailed us out. Okay, now we settle it down.
That's, I think, more specific to what I'm thinking. Maybe it's the belief that Tristan Jarry can calm things down when things are out of control defensively in their own end, which this team has the capability of doing, sometimes for periods on end. Can he make that big save to get the confidence back? Can he slow things down? That would be more, because I do think there's something to the high end versus low end. And yes, I think that would also coincide with that, is that Tristan Jarry's lower end is more consistent than Stuart Skinner's. It doesn't fall off and tank.
Or they're hoping it is.
They're hoping.
I mean, Jarry didn't have a good year last year. He's had some glitches.
Yeah, and I mean most goaltenders have. Most goaltenders have had off years.
Right, like there's a reason these two goalies were traded for each other. Like I said this morning, you don't trade Kulak and Skinner for Hellebuck. Like that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Right. I know contracts and stuff like that are a factor, but
yeah, I think the confidence side of things for this team, having somebody behind them that can bail them out, is probably a big part of this, and they feel that Tristan Jarry can, hopefully bring that.
Now, we'll see about Jarry's personality on the ice. I mean, I'll have to see more of him, but I think back to, I don't have to think back that far. I mean, Mike Smith, in my mind, impacted the attitude of the Oilers in a positive way. And he wasn't perfect. He let in bad goals. He let in funky goals. But you could almost see him, that ain't happening again.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, sure, sometimes it might. I mean, he wasn't perfect. They didn't go as deep into the playoffs with Smith as they did with Skinner. But there was that fire there. I mean, he fought. I'm not expecting Jarry to do that or criticizing Skinner for not doing that. But why do people praise Binnington? Well, you know what? He's
fiery.
And I know he's having a pretty poor season here on a team that's having a poor season. But when people speak highly of Binnington, it's like, well, yeah, he gave up 2 in the first period. But man, oh man, in the third, he was a wall.
He fought back.
Right. So is this not necessarily that Jarry's going to have more shutouts or more games where he's got a .970 save percentage? Is this more an off night for Jarry will be 4 goals on 30 shots, not 4 goals on 15 shots, and you got to pull them?
I would imagine that's the hope. That's the intention of this trade. Do you think there was any thought that went into this is doing this deal now as they're going off on a short 2-game road trip?
5? They got a 5.
Or sorry.
They got a 5.
Yeah, but not while they're starting, coming back home and putting a lot more pressure.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I wouldn't say yes. Oh, they definitely thought about this. But do you think it doesn't go a little bit hand in hand? Get him out of this market?
Well, he's got to be here anyway.
He will, but maybe he comes back and on this 5-game,
he's 3-0, yeah,
right. And then it's the Savior's home, right? Instead of just plopping him in and saying, well, you got to produce. Because it would, I just wonder if you think that management took that into consideration at all.
The schedule, I would doubt it. I think if it, I don't know. I think if it reaches the point where you want to consummate the trade and the two GMs realize, okay, there's no more talking about it. The negotiation's done. Either we both sign off or not. I think you do it.
Well, and from Tommy on Oil Stream today, or Tom Gazzola has heard, I mean, he was talking to both parties, as little as a week ago, and it was almost scoffed at that there was no, I guess this wasn't happening. And then boom, this changed rather quickly.
Well, my experience from covering stuff like this is that the trades are in the hopper sometimes for a while.
Sure.
I mean, this wasn't one guy called the other yesterday and said, do you want to do? I mean, they could have talked about this in the summer, right? But it reached the point where they wanted to pull the trigger. I mean, Tom suggested earlier today that perhaps both goaltenders are going to be fine with this, that it's let's just change things up.
Oh, I can imagine for Stuart Skinner that, I mean, we know that I'm sure he would like a change of scenery and a fresh start, because
even if he didn't want it, he's fine with it.
Yeah.
Once he was told, he's like, okay.
Maybe a sigh of relief, to be honest. I mean, this is not an easy market to play in when you're public enemy number one and you're the one that's scrutinized. Defense be damned.
Right.
Back checking be damned. It's your fault. Yeah, I could see how that might be intriguing.
The weirdest timing is that was probably Skinner's, third or fourth best game of the season last night?
Yes.
I mean, the game against the Rangers was the best one. He's had a couple other good ones along the way. I mean, I don't know. I just find the whole thing fascinating. Goaltending is, it can be a position with a lot of fluctuation. I mean, there's no doubt that this year Tristan Jarry is doing very, very well. And there's some really good data about him on making stops on high danger chances, which is important, and data that doesn't look as good for Skinner. We'll get into those numbers a little bit later on. But I get everybody that's saying to me, because I've been asked, I've got texts from friends and family, why didn't they take Jarry for free last year? Well, because they were probably worried that, this could be a decline that he doesn't bounce back from. But now Stan Bowman is saying his sell job to the fan base is actually he's had a pretty good career. He had a glitch. Goalies have glitches. That's the life of a goalie. But overall, we think we can go forward into 3 playoffs with him.
Well, and on the flip side, was there enough of a body of work from Stuart Skinner to say they're going to move on from him last year at this,
right,
early in the season?
Right.
I don't think there was. I think now they have a feeling that they know what Stuart Skinner is and what he brings to this team, and they felt that a change was necessary.
All right, 70218-9999 is how you can text us. That's the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. Happy hour featuring $5.25 drinks available Sunday to Thursday. That is 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. Let's get in a couple fun ones here before we get to your play of the day. The off-topic topic for William Huff.
Biggest change in Edmonton since 2014. Now, that was the last time Tristan Jarry played hockey in Edmonton. One-Eyed Pete, no more Red Robin burgers.
Oh, I bet you, I would not surprise me if the Oil Kings would have frequented a Red Robin or two.
Yes.
When he was here.
Well, and there's Chippers now in Edmonton.
The Chipotle.
The Chipotle.
Was it Ike Howard that said that?
Yeah.
Looking for a chipper?
Yeah, I was happy to hear the Chippers are here. Martin says, Tristan, sit down. North Shore will be having a reunion show.
The North Shore reunion. Except North Shore wasn't really active when he was an Oil King. Maybe he had some bootleg CDs.
He probably did. He probably
had some kicking around, playing them after Oil Kings wins. Keep those coming in. If you're watching us on YouTube today, subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk if you haven't already. If you have not clicked the thumbs up, please do it. We're 4 away from 100, so let's get there right away. And also click the share button and send the show link off to somebody else via email or text and bring us into our great community here at EST. If you're on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, those audio streaming apps, thank you as well. We appreciate it and keep spreading the word for Edmonton Sports Talk. Okay. I think I hear Jay's theme music.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Presented by Play Alberta. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Only Play Alberta brings you casino games, live dealers, lottery, instants, and sports betting all in one place. Players can get a $50 casino bonus by depositing $50 using the code EST Casino. You get a $50 free sports bet by depositing $50 and using the code EST Sports. Don't forget to use your game sense.
Okay, we're on a little bit of a roll here, 2 in a row. Last night's plus 400 cashed. Boom. So we're going to hopefully keep it rolling. Those that have followed Jay's play of the day know when I roll hot, I roll hot. So let's see if we can keep that going. We're heading to the NFL. We're heading to Sunday. And this is these teams aren't done yet.
Right.
Play of the day. I got the Buffalo Bills going into New England and winning at Foxborough. So I got the Buffalo Bills money line, and the Detroit Lions, I think, can beat the Rams, but they're at +6. So I took them at the plus money. Buffalo Bills money line, Detroit Lions +6. That has been boosted to +290. You can head over to playalberta.ca, click on sports, click on EST specials, and you'll see Jay's play of the day. Buffalo Bills money line, Detroit Lions +6, boosted to +290. And always remember to use your game sense.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
First time limerick.
We got a limerick.
I met Steb today. He came in to pick up his nasty package.
Oh,
and I
really?
said, have you written us a limerick?
We love limericks.
And he said, you know what? I haven't. I said, Steb, take a shot. He's a 5th grade teacher, so he said, this is right in my wheelhouse. So here it is. Today I met Jay at the shop. I thought, this guy's got a great mop. Stuart is now gone. Kulak was a pawn. Now Tristan comes in with a pop. Not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
First timer. That's pretty good.
Crack. Well done, Steb. Thanks for commenting on my mop. I don't think I've heard that.
I don't think
I don't get many hair comments.
I don't think our dues have been called a mop in quite some time.
Nope. Probably not since North Shore days.
Very well-worn mop.
Yes.
Was that mop going to pick anything up? I don't know. We need a new one.
Get a new one. Send him to Turkey.
780-218-9999. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. Let's do Bronco Nick's limerick while we're here. So the Oilers moved on from Skinner and hope Jarry is the winner. Kulak is gone. Oilers carry on. Looks like the cupboards are a bit thinner. Well, yeah, more draft picks being traded out. A good limerick. More draft picks being traded out. Also, I think you got to wonder about how the defense looks now as well. Without Kulak here, Wallman's hurt. They've called up Riley Stillman from the minors, who does have NHL experience, about 160 games over the last several years. He's been up and down with the minors. Now, Spencer Stastney, we'll see. And we'll hear Bowman from him a little bit later on, kind of pushing him as a younger version of Kulak, which is cool. Is he who's better right now? And I know maybe there's a lot of thought, well, Kulak was having an off year compared to his standards, but he's been pretty good in the playoffs. Hadn't missed a game. So I think that's, all trades are, we'll see. Is Spencer Stastney going to come in and play like Kulak played? I don't know. He skates well. He can kill penalties, which is good. But we'll have a comment from Bowman a little bit later on. We got to get to the 4:00 break. We will go to Pittsburgh. Seth Rorabaugh is going to join in the show. He's from the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review, covers the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's after the 4:00 break.
The Lock Shop.
I do think this is the convergence of a Detroit team that is playing well, but that played last night and has been playing a lot of hockey, to an Oiler team that my theory will be a little bit more focused, ready to go out of the gate after one that they probably weren't happy about at all. This feels like a game where the Oilers kind of go out and make a bit of a statement.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for flooring? Paramount Flooring has it all. Sales, service, and expert installation. With options for every style and budget, open 7 days a week. We've got you covered. Quick delivery and in-stock deals. Plus, EST listeners get 10% off. Visit ParamountFlooring.ca today.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Where holiday cheer meets great beer. This season, celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. From plated dinners and festive buffets to casual pub-style parties, we've got the perfect space for your crew. Book your holiday party today at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here, and we're excited to be partnering up with the Nielsen Show and have a special deal exclusive for Nielsen Show listeners. Get 10% off any new Trane furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump installation from now until the end of October. Bundle a furnace with an AC or heat pump and get 25% off the package price. Get your home comfort now for all seasons with Weiss Johnson and Trane. Trane, it's hard to stop a train. Visit wjsportstalk.com today.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
The Oilers have made a blockbuster trade sending Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak in a 2029 second rounder to the Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and Sam Poulin. Another move for Edmonton saw the Oilers ship a third rounder in 2027 for 25-year-old Spencer Stastney of the Predators. In Tampa Bay, Victor Hedman will be out until the Olympics in February, as he's set to undergo a procedure on his elbow to repair an injury he suffered Tuesday against Montreal. And there's a pair of games on a light NHL slate. Seattle and Utah matchup with the Blues and Blackhawks hit the ice. And for the Steelers, TJ Watt has undergone successful surgery to repair a partially collapsed lung. Watt has been hospitalized since Wednesday after having pain following treatment at the Steelers facility. From Toronto, the Jays have traded left-hander Johan Simon to the Tigers in exchange for right-hander Chase Lee. Into the association, the Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs, is probable for tomorrow's matchup with OKC. The 21-year-old has been out since mid-November with a calf strain, and there's 7 games on tap today, including Utah and Memphis, tipping off at 6 o'clock. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your Sports Update. Hour 2 of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. He's Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Of course, a lot of discussion today about the big trade. Brett Kulak and Stuart Skinner going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Oilers get goaltender Tristan Jarry. The Oilers also trading a draft pick to Nashville for defenseman Spencer Stastney, who could have some potential, but we'll see once he gets into the lineup. Riley Stillman also called up from the minors for your Edmonton Oilers, who play in Toronto tomorrow to start a 5-game road trip. 5 o'clock game, so that'll be a 4 o'clock GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show hosted by Tom Gazzola, and then the Oilers in Montreal on Saturday. Jarry against the Leafs in his career, 6-4, .897 save percentage, 3.04 goals against average. Jarry against the Canadians, even though he lost last night, 8-2-1, .907 and a 2.65 goals against average. Let's find out a little bit more about this trade from the perspective of someone who covers the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're going to go to the Oil Country Towing Hotline. Seth Rorabaugh covers the Penguins for the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. Seth, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Very well. Yourselves, guys?
Doing very well. Thanks for taking time to join us today. I'm sure a very busy day for you there. I mean, there'd been some rumors about a deal between these two teams for a while. What did you think when it was finally announced this morning?
I thought it was inevitable that something was going to happen. In recent years, Kyle Dubas has really built up the goaltending depth in the organization, particularly with younger guys. And this past summer they go out and get an Artur Silovs from Vancouver. An inconsistent player, but someone with some intrigue. And then they have two really, really nice prospects in Sergei Marashov and Joel Blomqvist with Wilkes-Barre Scranton in the American League. So they definitely have options, and obviously now they have Stuart Skinner on board now too. So they definitely have some options. All of them are under 30, and that was very intentional by Kyle Dubas. And I think Kyle acknowledged that signing Tristan Jarry to the long contract that he did a couple years ago just did not work out as planned, and he was prepared to move on. And I think he was just kind of biding his time until the Oilers or whoever met what was an acceptable price for him.
All right, so. If they wanted to move on from that contract, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm going to ask the question sort of that way anyway. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Are you sort of telling me and telling our listeners here, most of whom cheer for the Edmonton Oilers, that the Oilers are getting a goaltender who really isn't worth the value of his salary and perhaps isn't a solid number one?
I mean, just what happened last year with Jarry, I think would confirm that. He was on waivers, and no one else wanted to claim him when he was admittedly at a very, very low point in his career. He was assigned to Wilkes-Barre Scranton twice, once for conditioning purposes, and the second after he cleared waivers. This is a guy who really bottomed out. And to his credit, when he came back up in March, when the Penguins were essentially out of the playoff position, he really cobbled together some pretty solid play in March, April. And this season, he's been the team's winningest goalie and kept them in playoff contention. But they had the highest of expectations for him. They thought when they signed him to that contract in the summer of 2023, and this is really one of the first big moves Kyle Dubas made when he was installed as president of operations. They thought this was the guy that was going to help them get a few more years of being a Stanley Cup contender in the final years of Sidney Crosby, of Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, and it just hasn't happened. They haven't made the playoffs for 3 years, and that's not all Tristan Jarry's fault, but he's a big component of it. And in fairness to him, some of it's been injury related. He's dealt with a lot of injuries over the years that have led to his inconsistency. But by hook or by crook, he just has not met up to the parameters of this contract that they signed him to back in 2023.
All right, so I want to get this perspective from you, Seth. How does Tristan Jarry look when he's at his high end? And what are his struggles when he's at his low end?
He looks very consistent. Let me restart that. He looks very sharp, very tuned in when he's consistent. When he's inconsistent, you just see a lot of loose pucks that go in, a lot of soft goals that will go in. Even dating back to his time in Wilkes-Barre Scranton, he was a prospect. He was a second-round pick back in 2013 when he was a prospect with the American League team. You would see, a lot of times where, okay, he's locked in, he's doing his right things. Then he would get into some bad habits, whether that's practice or maybe losing some focus. And that's really kind of been the story of his time with Pittsburgh, either at the NHL or the American League roster. Just sometimes he can lose focus. I think he's gotten a little bit past that, going back to late last season after he went through the whole ordeal with waivers and things like that. He, arguably, from March until now, it's probably been some of his most consistent hockey during his time in the NHL. But it comes and goes with him, and it just you always kind of wait for the other shoe to drop anytime he does manage to piece together some good games. So. The talent's there. Make no mistake. He's a very talented player. He has a little bit of size, so he's not necessarily just an athletic guy. He kind of takes up some space in the net. At the same time, too, he does have a fair modicum of athletic ability, and he can rely on his reflexes to make some outstanding saves. And it's just when he loses his focus, sometimes some of the technical parts of the game will abandon him, and you'll start getting a little bit anxious with him. But the talent's there. It's always been a matter of consistency or focus with him.
How is he handling the puck, by the way?
He's very good. In fact, he scored a goal for the NHL club and the American League club during his time with the organization. And the other night, last night, he actually sprung Record McGroarty on a breakaway. McGroarty ended up hitting the post against Montreal, but he can maybe sometimes get a little too confident with his puck handling. Most notably, or infamously, he tried to fire a pass up the middle of the ice in double overtime against the New York Islanders in the first round of 2021, and I think it was Josh Bailey ended up stealing it and scored what was essentially an empty net goal to win that game. The Islanders ended up winning that series the next game. So there are times where he can maybe be a little too confident, but he's outstanding when it comes to handling the puck. Again, he has 2 goals as a professional with the Penguins at the National Hockey League level and the American Hockey League level.
Seth Rorabaugh from the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review joining us here on Edmonton Sports Talk on the Oil Country Towing Video Hotline. I mean, we can't forget about Kulak in this. He's been a pretty good pro, was a pretty good Oiler, very good playoff performer. How significant is he for the Penguins in this deal?
Kyle Dubas talked him up today. They seem intent on throwing into the mix here. They don't exactly. They have a lot of left-handed defensemen, but I wouldn't say any of them stand out. It's all just a bunch of guys that are sort of just okay. And without having watched Brett Kulak on a day-to-day basis, throughout his career, maybe I'm overstepping my bounds here, but he strikes me as guys maybe just okay. You're looking at he's going to be competing with guys like Parker Witherspoon, Ryan Shea, Ryan Graves for ice time here on the left side. So, and Kyle did mention, he can't play maybe a little bit of the right side, I guess. So, maybe there's consideration there. But, Kyle talked him up today. I think at most he's probably just a rental, for lack of a better term. He's an expiring contract here coming up this offseason. But Kyle seems to think he can help him out. He talked up, he's been a significant part of 2 Stanley Cup final teams here in the past 2 years. Kind of a steady Eddie defensive presence in that regard. The Penguins aren't exactly a wash, I guess, in terms of outstanding defenseman overall. So I mean, at the very least, he's worth consideration in that regard. But I don't know that they necessarily have long-term hopes for him. They have a couple guys with Wilkes-Barre Scranton that they have some high hopes for as far as left-handed prospects on the blue line, but. Kyle seemed to like getting him as part of the trade, even if just for the short term.
Okay. I think we're going to touch on the Penguins overall, because I would think the expectations for them, at least from the preview stuff you saw a couple months ago, maybe weren't that high. They've had a pretty good start to the season. With the exception of one game last year, they have not done well, specifically against the Oilers. I know you've covered many of those, though they did win the game in Pittsburgh last year. But has the outlook for the Penguins changed at all this year because of how they've started the season?
Externally, yes. I think there was a lot of just thought or even hopes with some fans here that the Penguins would just tank the season and end up with maybe the top overall pick in the draft, i.e. Gavin McKenna. That strategy has worked out pretty well here in Pittsburgh over the past 40 years with guys like Sidney Crosby and Mario Lemieux, although the draft process is much different now with the lottery and things like that. But they're a playoff team as of today. I think they're the second wild card here in the Eastern Conference. So externally, I don't think many people saw them being this at all. They did have a really good October. November kind of started pretty rough for them, and December hasn't exactly gone all that well for them as late either. So they've kind of dropped off a little bit after a really good start. I would say injuries maybe have dictated some of their struggles here over the past 6-7 weeks. But for them internally, they expect to contend for the playoffs. They expect to be a playoff team. Now, I don't know if they sit here today and say, okay, we should be a Stanley Cup contender, but I think for them internally, getting to the playoffs would be a fair expectation. Now, getting anywhere past, say, the first round, I don't know about that, but they're not going to be just this horrible team that I think everyone expected. That they don't want them to be what the Chicago Blackhawks or the San Jose Sharks were the past few years. When they tried to get the top overall pick, or what the Buffalo Sabres have been for 15 years. This is a fairly competitive team on a night-in, night-out basis. Right now they're in a playoff position, and I think that's their base level expectation, is to get that X next to their name in the regular season standings.
All right. Hey, Seth, thanks for doing this. I know you've probably had a busy day and probably still got a bunch of work to do. And these two teams play each other right away. Could it be Skinner versus Jarry? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, Kyle Dubas did mention they're trying to get immigration issues worked out, I guess, over this weekend. But it would be something. So,
all right, Seth, thanks a lot for doing this. All the best.
Anytime, guys. Be well.
All right, that's Seth Rorabaugh from the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review joining us on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. So, I asked him there, what's Jarry's high end and what's his low end? And he basically said his low end is that he loses focus and that he can let in some bad goals. So that's what he's saying. He's seen Jarry play his entire career. Now, he cited a goal from 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, I don't know if that's... you could cite anything from several years ago. It doesn't mean he's going to come in here and do that in his first game. But look, that's the thing. Is Jarry's... I think this is what, and I see people debating in the nasty chat. I know we're getting texts on the afternoon inbox for River Cree Resort and Casino, 780-218-9999. Like, is that... Do you believe Jarry's high end is way better than Skinner's? A little bit better than Skinner's? About equal to Skinner's? And then the other side of it is, do you believe that Jarry's low end is way better than Skinner's, a little bit better than Skinner's, or about the same than Skinner's? We're going to find out. Does he fit in better behind the team? I like that he moves the puck a little better. I mean, I thought Skinner was a below average, if not poor, puck moving goaltender, especially coming off Mike Smith, who was insanely good.
Well, and what's one thing that's been criticized of Stu Skinner? In the crease, footwork, his skating.
The movement, sure.
Movement. Tristan Jarry moves around in the crease far better than Stuart Skinner. So that, if you want to look at maybe improvements in the goal, you could at least point to that and say that his movement in the crease is better than Stu Skinner, which has cost them. And like you said, the puck handling as well. I don't think anybody would put him above the top 50% of goaltenders in terms of moving the puck.
Right. And then Kulak is part of this as well, which does to me create some issues on the back end, especially since you don't have Wallman. Spencer Stastney, still relatively young. Maybe he's going to be really, really good. I mean, this is okay. Correct me if I'm wrong here. And I'm not just talking to you, Jay. I'm talking because I'm throwing out different ways to look at this, different things that bounce through my mind. Some things I have an answer for my own questions. Some things I don't. Is there a disconnect between these two deals in terms of that Jarry is a goaltender for now and Spencer Stastney is a defenseman for 2 years from now? Whereas Kulak would have been the defenseman to help you win now. Right? Like if you're trying to win, I know, but you're trying to win. You try to win in the next 3 playoff runs. Well, you have McDavid. So is Spencer Stastney going to be really, really good when? Next playoffs, 2 playoffs from now?
Reid, from everything I'm seeing, and just a programming note, we are going to hear from Nashville. We're going to have Max Herz on. He's going to join us at 4:40. He is from the radio broadcast, the Predators broadcast. So we're going to find out more about Spencer Stastney. But for everything I've seen, Reid, he was overachieving this year. He's a young player. This is his first full year in Nashville, and he was exceeding expectations. So I want to know, okay, then why? Why did they trade him? Right? If this is a young, blossoming defense, do you have that much depth in your organization?
Right. But like as Matthew says in the chat, Kulak might have not been around next season. And that's what you said.
Yes.
So you don't have a good playoff performer maybe in this year's playoffs for Kulak or in Kulak, but then maybe you don't have him at all after that, but you're going to have this kid after that.
Well, and I mean, I know Brett Kulak was instrumental last year for sure. That was one of his best years. Hasn't been there this year. And this is a what have you done for me lately business. Now, the question is, what does that look like in terms of leadership in the locker room? That was one of the veteran guys in the room. Does that change? I know Joaquin Gage spoke a lot about that's hard to replace.
Okay, yeah, so here's my concern. Now, again, maybe you're saying, well, if Jarry's better, it makes up for defensive gaffes. So you have Kulak gone, and right now Wallman's out. Emberson, I think, is Emberson. He's probably a 6'7". Regula has shown flashes of being good, and there have been some nights I've thought, oh, man, he looks over. Maybe you got to let him grow into it. You've called up Riley Stillman, who's kind of a depth organizational player. I mean, to me, and I know there could be other moves coming. I mean, are they going to play with this defense and see how it shakes out until,
they have time,
until the
Reid.
deadline? I guess
They do have time. I think that's why they pulled the trigger on this now. Why wait? If you know this is going to happen, get it in place so then you can look and fill the remaining holes in your roster, or what you find out to be holes, which I think would be primarily defensive. I mean, sure, you could use a top six.
You could use the bottom six.
Well, for bottom
probably
six.
third. I'd upgrade. I mean, Roslovic's going to come back at some point.
Old Roscoe.
Old Roscoe is going to come back. Of course, Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. You can skip the flight to Vegas because jackpots are just a tap away. Experience all the thrills of the casino right from your phone with Play Alberta. Download the app today and deposit $50 using the EST exclusive promo code EST Casino for a $50 casino bonus. Tell you what, if you're taking us in on YouTube this afternoon, we thank you. Subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk if you haven't already. And if you haven't clicked the thumbs up button, my goodness, give us a click.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right, we got the oil understood for GCL Diesel coming up. You're going to hear some more comments from Stan Bowman, Oilers GM, in the wake of the trade today. And we got a Nashville guest at around 4:40.
Yes.
So we'll find out a little bit more about Spencer Stastney. Awesome. Here comes the Coop.
The Oilers have traded Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, in a 2029 second-round selection to the Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and 24-year-old forward Samuel Poulin. Another trade for the Oilers saw Edmonton sending a third-rounder in 2027 to Nashville in exchange for Spencer Stastney. Following the trade with Edmonton, Pittsburgh has placed Matt Dumba on waivers. The 31-year-old is in the final year of his 2-year contract worth just under $4 million annually. And on the ice tonight, the Hawks and Blues face off while the Kraken and Mammoth dance, having just 2 games on today's NHL slate. Meanwhile, Bo Horvat of the Islanders will miss up to 3 weeks with a lower body injury he sustained yesterday against the Ducks. In the NFL, the Jets will start rookie Brady Cook Sunday in Jacksonville, with Cook making his debut last week in a loss against the Dolphins. To the association, Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs is probable for tomorrow's game against the Thunder. He's been out since mid-November with a calf strain, and there's 7 games tonight in the association, including the Nets and Mavericks hitting the hardwood. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they have plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The show rolls on after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
This is the guy that they have determined is the goaltender who will deliver a Stanley Cup alongside Connor McDavid in the next 2 years. They're paying him almost $6 million. They might have money for a backup at a lower level, an upgrade for Pickard, which I think they'll probably have to do in the offseason. But they have identified Tristan Jarry as the goaltender for the rest of the Connor McDavid contract, is the guy that will be between the pipes to help them win a Stanley Cup.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you cater with Royal Pizza, you're getting the same great pizzas, pastas, and salads you love, just bigger and built for a crowd. Perfect for teams, offices, or parties, Royal Pizza's catering brings real value around $10 per person. Delicious, high quality, and easy. If you like their pastas, you'll love their catering pastas even more. Visit royalpizza.ca or contact your local store for exact pricing and details.
So come on home, Royal Pizza, still making it great.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
When gambling, set a budget before you play. Stay informed and visit GameSenseAB.ca to learn how. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Boxing Day rocks at River Cree. December 26th, live in the venue. Hysteria, tribute of Def Leppard. And Blackout, tribute to the Scorpions. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Why did you leave me so fast? You never gave me a helping chance. Just fall out. Stay with me.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. If you've never heard that track before, it's a beauty. Jay Milne on the lead vocals for the band North Shore. The song Fallout.
My drummer just texted me.
The drummer
I
on
should
this
say
track.
my drummer. I don't own him. Although it would be a nice acquisition. I've never owned a drummer.
Well, he was the drummer in the band.
Our drummer.
Our drummer. Sorry. And he's new to the show?
I think so.
Is he listening right now?
I believe
What's
he
his
is.
name?
Jesse.
Is he on YouTube or iHeart or TuneIn?
YouTube.
Jesse? Jesse, I'm looking right at the camera. Right at you, baby. Where the hell you been? Show's a year and 4 months old, sweetheart. Okay? Stick around. You're going to have a good time.
Guaranteed. The reunion is going to happen. It has to now.
It has to be a reunion.
Yeah. Nasty Bash. That'd be awesome. Rocking the St. Albert
That would be
Rugby
incredible.
Club.
That
we
would
could do it on the deck.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be great stuff. All right. Hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. We are going into a weekend here. It's still cold, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it snowing?
Yes.
Oh, that's ugly.
All of the above. But it's supposed to be plus temperatures on Monday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We can do the show outside. We can do it on our deck. It's going to be +4. That's incredible stuff. We're in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Pizza Sunday, that's in 2 days, is back at the Canadian Brewhouse. After 4 p.m., grab an 8-inch 2-topping pizza for just $9.99. Wash it down with $6.99 doubles and $1 off Bud Light tankards. We will have Max Herz from 102.5 The Game out of Nashville joining us in 15 or 20 minutes. So we'll get some more firsthand information on Spencer Stastney. I would like that. I don't know a ton about him, but perhaps a promising defenseman that the Oilers acquired today. This is The Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel. Providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. That was good, buddy.
Oh, it's a good one.
That was
That was probably one of our finest work.
Probably the best thing we've ever done. Well, besides that. All right, where do we want to start here? Bowman asked earlier today, he did a Zoom call at 8:30. Bowman basically asked by Ryan Rashog from TSN on the Got Your Back podcast, because Bowman said in his first comment, and I played it earlier, but it's pretty general, so I don't know if I'll revisit that one, maybe later in the show, but he basically said, I wrote it down because I was making notes. He said it's time for something different, which is cool, but something different doesn't necessarily mean something better. I mean, we know what he was saying, but he was sort of just saying, well, we have to make a change. You know, time to mix it up. But Rashog said, so, like, time for something different, but are you 100% that Jarry's an upgrade?
Tristan's track record, he's been... he's a very strong performance for a number of years. I think it was really just last season was the only time when he had a stretch where it wasn't at the same level. So wanted to see how he started the season off. And I think he's been doing really well there in Pittsburgh. I think he's a big part of the reason their team is off to such a great start, probably surprising some people in in the Eastern Conference to be as good as they've been. And so I think that was, watching his performance, it solidified in our mind that that he is the goalie that we had seen for many years. So I do see him being, his performance over a number of years has been very good.
Okay, so Stan Bowman is saying, I've been watching Tristan Jarry for a long time, and I think he's pretty good.
That's fair.
I
mean, you can't
you
criticize
can react to that comment however you like. I mean, I can't follow everything in the chat, and you're getting a lot of texts, and you're compiling a bunch for later on from the Waddle Nation. What are we calling the Pittsburgh fans? The Waddle Nation, the Tuxedo Crew, the
March of the
Penguins.
Yes.
I've seen everything. Like somebody named James just put in the chat, Dubas fleeced the Oilers. Both goalies equivalent numbers, but Pittsburgh received expiring contracts and a second-round pick. Oilers are stuck with $5.37 million until 2028. And then I've seen, Jarry's better. Farewell Skinner. We couldn't have him as the goalie anymore. So we're seeing a lot of different stuff.
Well, and saying that they're expiring contracts also is a positive, or at least getting something for those expiring contracts before they turn into nothing and they're signed in free agency.
Right.
So you can look at it both ways.
Right.
You can say, oh, the Oilers are stuck with a Jarry contract. Yeah, but they're getting something out of those two contracts in Skinner and Kulak that they probably wouldn't have gotten anything for.
Right. Does it, and I want to, here's another question I have for everybody. Is it at all a factor for anybody in this that Jarry has played 8 playoff games and Skinner has played 50?
It should be part of the conversation. Yes. Now, that's not to say that Tristan Jarry can't come in and steal the show, but it's unproven. And I mean, Stuart Skinner has had his struggles in the last 2 playoffs, right? I mean, if Calvin Pickard doesn't come in and save the day, both of those playoff, who knows how far the Oilers go, which is kind of an untraditional way to get to the Stanley Cup final, is it not?
Using 2 goaltenders? No.
Well, at that extreme of it was both runs. It was, okay, you almost expected that was going to happen. There was never really the thought in Oilers Nation or for the Oilers fans that Stu Skinner was going to carry the mail all the way through. It was almost expected that Calvin Pickard would have to come in both of those Stanley Cup runs or Stanley Cup final runs.
I wouldn't say I expected it. I mean, in the first year Pickard played 2 games and went 1-1. Last year, his contribution was much more significant.
Sure.
Because he won 6 in a row. Right? So, I don't know, but I don't have a problem with having multiple good players on the team or multiple players who can do a job.
No, that's right. That's definitely not a problem. It would be a good problem to have. But I don't think the Oilers have that even right now. Or maybe they do. I don't know. It's TBD. That's the thing about this, Reid, is you can look at all the numbers you want, but until you see how the team plays in front, I mean, if the team played like they played last night in front of Stuart Skinner this season, this would not have happened.
Yeah, he'd have better numbers this season. So I looked on Natural Stat Trick, high danger save percentage. Now, high danger, grade A chances, whatever. So I narrowed it down so it was goaltenders who have played 500 or more minutes, 5-on-5. Because sometimes you have a goalie, he's got a 980 save percentage and he's only faced 27 shots, because he played half a game or something like that. High danger save percentage out of 48 goaltenders who've played 500 or more minutes, 5-on-5 this season. Tristan Jarry is actually second to Logan Thompson at 888.
Wow.
And Thompson's 889. Skinner, 772. That's 42nd out of 48.
Well, for a team that gives up plenty of grade A chances.
They're not the worst in the league. They're not the worst in the league. So, this is another thing that I think that they looked at and said, okay, we could be better defensively. Maybe we're not as bad as we look because we don't get bailed out enough.
That's an incredible stat. I think that might calm a lot of people that are on the fence about this deal. I mean, that's a big problem for the Oilers, is giving up when you say, what you just alluded to, that they need to be bailed out, that they need that one save.
Right.
That hasn't happened here nearly enough. Seems like Tristan Jarry has been doing that.
We got to present both sides of this. A knock on Jarry is that he has started other seasons well and then faded as the season went on. Josh Yohe from The Athletic was reporting that earlier today. That's something to keep in mind. So we'll see how it plays out. Who would you start tomorrow?
Jarry.
Assuming that Jarry's there in a comfortable amount of time and everything.
Jarry.
Yeah, for me, it's no doubt Jarry.
No doubt. Why delay? Just like our clicks, don't delay.
Yeah. I put on a poll on Twitter for fun. You can vote until 6 o'clock, by the way. Who would you start in goal Saturday against the Leafs? I got 618 votes. 90.9% Jarry, 9.1% Pickard.
I don't know why you wouldn't start him.
I mean, he's been a number one goalie.
I mean, it's not like he
played last night. You play again.
Acclimatized to the offense.
He's only coming from Pittsburgh to Toronto. That's not far.
Oh, just Oilers fans, just whatever you pray to, believe in. Just hope it's not one in the first 5 minutes. That would be bad. That would be terrible.
Well, he's the goalie for the rest of the year.
Oh, I
He's
know.
the number one goalie for the rest. Maybe they'll make another change. Who knows? Pickard could be moved on from, or something else could happen. I would definitely start Jarry tomorrow. Like, go ahead. He's played in Toronto before. It's not like he's 30 years old. He's played in big games. He's played on Hockey Night in Canada. That's going to be a fun one tomorrow.
Well, it's got a lot more
Oilers, Leafs,
interest.
Jarry probably in net. First game as an Oiler. Both teams, probably feeling the starts to their seasons have been a little underwhelming or a lot underwhelming. All the hype around it. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait for this game.
Got lots of stuff, texts, tweets, remarks that I'm cataloging here. So if I'm not reading what you're saying, that's okay.
No, we're going to have a full segment of emotional reaction. It's going to be great. Bowman was asked if there'd been any talks of a contract extension with Skinner.
No, we didn't have any negotiations yet with Stu. It was something we were going to assess as the year went on. And I think that's one of the things that was attractive about this deal was not only that Tristan is signed, but he's signed at in today's marketplace and the way the cap is, a very manageable cap number. You look at some of the recent goaltenders that signed over this past summer, and I think that Tristan's cap hit's very manageable.
All right, so there's a little bit on that. What about Kyle Dubas, the GM of the Penguins? Here's what he had to say about making this deal.
With goaltending, it comes with a certain sense of volatility. There's very few goalies in the league that are, that have that linear progression night after night, and whether it's an up and down profession. It's a very tough profession, and I don't think we've at times made it the easiest position to play with our play in front of him over the years. And I think in his case, I would say that this year he probably had been working out as intended. I mean, he'd steadied himself, as we talked about at the end of last season, come back from being sent to the minors, played very well, and just think with where we're at this, and the opportunity to bring in a goalie that has deep experience in Stu, plus what we feel is an ability to upgrade our defense, plus the draft pick. It made sense for us to do it at this time, and I think Tristan, as everyone here has seen, is extremely talented, and it'll be a great opportunity for him in Edmonton, where he's had success in junior with the Oil Kings, and they make their home there. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Oil Kings Memorial Cup win is it's nice to have on his resume. I'm not sure if that's going to translate into how he's going to play as an Edmonton Oiler, but yes, it is part of his history. All right, some comments there from Bowman and Dubas in the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. We are in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Win big this football season at the Canadian Brewhouse. Score your shot at a trip to the Super Bowl, weekly prizes, and more, plus $1 off Budweiser and Bud Light tankards. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. The Skinner Jarry trade, one of two made by the Edmonton Oilers today. We want to get some perspective on the deal they made with Nashville to get defenseman Spencer Stastney. Max Herz out of Nashville is going to join us next. Here comes the Coop.
Tristan Jarry is now an Edmonton Oiler, with Stuart Skinner and Brett Kulak being swapped to the Penguins for the 30-year-old netminder. The Penguins also received a 2029 second-round pick in the trade, having former first-rounder Sam Poulin making his way to Edmonton. Oilers general manager Stan Bowman made another trade, sending a 2027 third-round pick to Nashville in exchange for 25-year-old left-handed defenseman Spencer Stastney. And in the fallout of the trade with the Oilers, the Penguins have placed Matt Dumba on waivers. Dumba's in the final year of his current contract, worth just shy of $4 million annually. Dumba recording 3 points in 11 games this season. Meanwhile, Bo Horvat of the Islanders will miss up to 3 weeks with a lower body injury he sustained yesterday against the Ducks. And just 2 games on today's NHL slate, St. Louis plays host to Chicago, while the Kraken clash with the Mammoth. In NFL news, Pittsburgh's TJ Watt has undergone successful surgery to repair a partially collapsed lung after Watt was hospitalized Wednesday after feeling discomfort following treatment at the Steelers facility. And there's a handful of games in the NBA, 7 to be exact. The Timberwolves and Warriors square off at 8 o'clock. Max Herz from 102.5 The Game checks in on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
I'm not gonna lie, I understand the goalpost, but I feel like that's a Canadian thing.
I joke, I called it a safety hazard.
I've been in practice where Lutez Purifoy, the starting safety from last year, he caught an interception by just standing behind it pre-snap. Quarterback thought midfield open. He just stood behind it and then dropped back to the midfield.
That's such a veteran move.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Sentinel Storage is proud to partner with Toy Mountain in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters Boys and Girls Club. Between now and December 19th, drop off a new unwrapped toy at a Sentinel Storage near you and bring a smile to a child this holiday season.
Hockey is heating up, and so is the excitement on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code EST50. That's code EST50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense.
EST Afternoons.
Taylor Haas from BK Pittsburgh Sports. Let's get to Tristan Jarry. What can you tell Oiler fans? What are his strengths and what is maybe one of his 1 or 2 weaknesses?
There's not really any one glaring weaknesses. The consistency in staying healthy has been an issue for him before this season. The consistency, though, that was an issue, even last year, and that's why he ended up on waivers.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Where holiday cheer meets great beer. This season, celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. From plated dinners and festive buffets to casual pub-style parties, we've got the perfect space for your crew. Book your holiday party today at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
The Oil Stream.
Coach Mike says Knobloch will never be able to get 97, 29, and 2 to think defense first, will he?
Kind of.
It's just not in their DNA, man.
I think Coach Mike's onto something. These guys.
5 on 5. I think McDavid and Draisaitl have improved a lot, but there still is a tendency where you're kind of flew the zone a bit early there.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. 4:43, Jason Milne, Reid Wilkins with you. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. The Oilers making 2 trades today. Skinner and Kulak, and a second rounder in 2029. I always got to double check that date. 2029, going to Pittsburgh for Tristan Jarry and forward Samuel Poulin. And also, the Oilers sending a third-round pick in 2027 to the Nashville Predators for defenseman Spencer Stastney, who has played 81 games in the NHL, including 30 this year. He has a goal and 8 assists along with 10 penalty minutes, plays about 15 minutes per game. He's American, 5th-round selection for the Preds, 131st in 2018. I'm telling you that off the press release that any of you can read. But to get a little more firsthand perspective on Spencer Stastney, we're going to welcome to the show Max Herz. He covers the Predators for 102.5 The Game. Max, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing? You might be muted, Max. Is something muted on your end, or is that? Let's figure out what's going on here.
How about now?
We got you now. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for doing. I think you've had a busy day, so thanks a lot for jumping on. We won't keep you for too long. Well, I guess give us kind of the scouting report on Spencer Stastney. Who are the Oilers getting?
Really fast defenseman who's made a big step by playing in every game this year. And the headliner for Spencer, and I think the reason a lot of Canadian fans would know him, is because of what he did this summer. He went on Elliot Friedman's podcast and he opened up about some really serious mental health struggles that almost caused him to end his career. He said his retirement papers were filled out 2 summers ago, and he ended up finally getting some help, and he battled depression, he battled anxiety, and he's come out the other side, and it was a massive step for him to play in each of the first 30 games for the Preds this year. I thought he played well. He has career highs already in games, assists, and points, and he's played in parts of 4 different seasons. So he's someone that the Preds have been with for a while. He was a 4-year guy at Notre Dame. He's someone who developed into an NHLer, and someone whose spot was never assured, especially when he was still battling those demons. And this year he came into camp as his full self for the first time ever, and I think performed well. And clearly the Oilers recognized that and made the Preds an offer that they liked.
So I guess the question would be then, if this has been a good year for him and he's survived some very difficult life challenges, why were the Predators willing to move on with him after they've invested some time in him here?
Yeah, and I don't think it was because they don't like the player or have anything they don't like about the player. They just, right now at the NHL level, have 8 defensemen, and one of them, in Adam Wilsby, is very similar stylistically to Stastney. He's the same age. He's left-handed. Speed is his strength. They have really similar profiles. So I don't know if it was necessarily a choice between those two in any way, but the offer comes in for Stastney, and the Preds want to free up minutes for Wilsby and also Justin Barron, who has been dealing with an injury and hasn't played in a little while and was going to have to fight to get in the lineup when he came back. So I think the Preds are willing to listen to offers on anybody right now, even though they have been playing much better recently, having won 6 of their last 8. So I just think an offer came in at the right time, and it really doesn't have anything to do with Stastney's performance. And he made such a great breakthrough, and I think the Preds deserve a ton of credit for helping him with that. Of course, it was him who asked for help and made all the progress. But our sports psychologist, Vicky Woosley, is one of the first people that Stastney thanks, and also former Pred Mark Borowiecki, who is on the Predators development staff and really focuses not just on hockey with guys who are young pros, but also off ice and things exactly like this when players need help. And Boro is so great with that. So I think it definitely stings a little bit for the Preds to part with Stastney because they do love him and they're really happy with how he's played this year. But the way they are right now, they listen to offers on anybody, and the Oilers came in at a time with an offer that the Preds thought was good value for a player they know well.
So I've heard that he skates well. I'm just wondering your perspective on that, and maybe how he can be, like, is he a puck mover? Does he hit? Does he PK? All that kind of stuff.
He will occasionally hit, and it's always fun when he does because he's shown a little bit of it this year, and it surprises you a little bit, but he can hit. The speed is definitely at the top of his attributes list, and there's some times where he gets up in the play, and the Pred system will allow defensemen to do that, and you think, oh my God, like his partner's hung out to dry, and he'll just spawn right back into the D zone, and he'll be there, and he'll turn, and he'll get square, and he'll be right on the puck. So it's moments like that where it really shows through. I think the Preds wanted him to be more of a puck mover and a puck lugger, and I think that's something that can definitely be coached into him, and it's something that he is fast enough to do. And look, if he's out there with McDavid or Draisaitl ever, like, I think that could be a real upside play. But he never played huge minutes with the Preds either, so that's something to monitor.
Okay. Before we let you go, and thanks again for doing this, I mean, I should just get a comment on the Preds in general. Even going back to last season, Stamkos, high expectations. They were pretty much out of it by November 15th, pick a day. This year, I guess a little better lately, but still third last in the Western Conference. And this has been a very competitive franchise since they came into the league, quite frankly. These are kind of the first couple of years where they're kind of looking like an also-ran. What is the state of the franchise here, and with Trotz at the helm and all that kind of stuff?
Much, much better this season than last season. Last season got not fun really, really fast and was going nowhere. This year, the team has been much closer, and it's shown from the beginning. Like, even the fact that they won on opening night instead of starting 0-5, you felt such a big difference with the team. And the report from Frank Saravalli that it was the most toxic environment in NHL history, top to bottom, a month ago or wherever that was, I have absolutely no idea where that came from, because the players legitimately love being around each other. And even when they weren't winning, it was still like that. And now they've won 6 of their last 8 games. Vibes are pretty good. Steven Stamkos had 4 goals last night. So they're buying in more. It's showing up much more on the ice. And it's really a different situation from last year. That's for sure.
Okay. Max, thanks for doing this. I know it's busy for you. We appreciate you hopping on. We love the perspective because we want the information on one of the new Oilers here. Thank you so much. Hope we can talk again down the road.
Yeah, guys, my pleasure. Anytime, and we will see everybody in Edmonton in less than a month.
Right on. Max Herz checking in, covers the Preds for 102.5 The Game. Good information there on Stastney. Certainly the personal side of it. I mean, it's great to hear he's doing better as a human being and also as a hockey player. So skates well. I mean, as he said, hasn't played a ton. Doesn't sound like he's a big hitter at all.
Welcome to Edmonton.
Somebody checked the hit stats and says he has fewer hits than Bouchard. So I mean, I think this is somebody that the Oilers think can play and maybe develop. But as I'm saying, is that enough right now? Like, do they need, is the next move, and I realize, we can talk about other areas of the roster. We can talk about the third line. You can talk about anything. But is another move on defense a necessity? Like, I kind of feel like it might be.
It might be.
I understand because you said it earlier, there is some wait and see here.
There has to be.
It doesn't have to be like we got to make the trade tomorrow. Like there is some wait and see. And I think there was even some wait and see with Skinner and the goaltending trade. Is there some wait and see with Regula, with Emberson, with Stastney? Probably. But I also think we kind of know who those players are at this point in their career. So if you want to win like this year, if you think you can go for it, then I think you have to get somebody else. Like in the last, 3 years, they've added Ekholm and Walman. Ekholm, I think, was a couple days before the deadline. Walman was, when did he come? He was a little bit before the deadline. So does there have to be some sort of trade like that this year? I think so.
Well,
I would
somewhat
think so.
Out of the blue, too, both of those trades. Unexpected. I
think you kind of knew Barry was going to be traded when they got Ekholm.
But not to say the position didn't need to be addressed, but those names.
Right.
And to Bowman's credit, Walman has worked out. I mean, they extended him. Obviously, injuries, I don't know if you can say that's a question at this point. Maybe it's just bad luck. I'm not sure. But on the surface, that has worked out. But he's 6 years younger and almost $2 million less than Kulak? So, yeah, there is some wait and see here for somebody that's an elite skater by all accounts. He doesn't play on the power play, and he's got a goal and 9 points. So all of that's coming even strength.
Right.
So if this can develop into somebody that you can when you say elite skater as a defenseman, that fits the mold for Edmonton. This is not a highly aggressive defensive unit
but I think that I'd like to see that. Well, or I'd like to see some of the guys who can play aggressive play more aggressively. Gager made the point that he thought that was Ekholm's maybe best game last night in terms of physicality.
Yes.
In terms of physicality,
I would say it was on a lot of players too.
Right.
I mean, that was an aggressive game. That's what you want to see. And, I mean, we haven't talked much about last night's game, but Zach Hyman, I think you called it yesterday.
Did I? What did I say?
I thought you said...
I said at some point he's going to have a stretch where he scores 5 goals in 4 games.
We were talking about goals
like that, or the goals. He gets a couple goals right around the net, gets the empty netter. I thought McDavid was brilliant last night, driving the offense and setting up plays.
Shooting.
I mean, the play he made when he caught the puck, dropped it, spun, and passed it back between his legs. And Hyman one-times it in. I mean, that's a spectacular play. That's a spectacular play. Well, last night was one of their better games of the season. I mean, it was kind of a very under control performance. I guess maybe in the first period, I thought Detroit looked quicker, but the Oilers, again, they hung in there. They got a power play goal and they took control of the game from there.
Yeah, I was just going to add, but that McDavid pass, beautiful pass set up to Hyman, that started from a simple routine shot on net. That was a shot.
Right.
Went over the rebound, went over the net.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was a bad angle shot.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's why you need to do those things.
Let's get into buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Okay, there are 5 games here on this road trip. 2 home games, then it's Christmas. So let's project the goalie schedule for the next 7 games.
Okay, so we are thinking that Jarry's going to go tomorrow night.
Yes.
What if it's either going to, because it's a back-to-back, Saturday, Sunday.
So
what if they go picks tomorrow night? Just let everything settle out for an extra day, travel with the team. They might do, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, we would want to say, well, Jarry tomorrow night, let's put him in there.
Right.
But maybe management says, look, let's slow down a bit. Give them more than just 24 hours to acclimate here. Lots
But I
changed.
mean, players, they travel and get traded all the time.
But that hasn't happened to him in a long time, right? There's a lot going on in his world outside of hockey that might need to be changed. I might see them going with Pickard tomorrow night. And then Jarry starting against the Canadiens.
I think this road trip is going to go Jarry, Pickard, Jarry. And then Pickard plays at home against Vegas on the 21st.
Which is the rare back-to-back after away and home.
An away matinee and then a home night game. Minnesota, and then home to Vegas. And then Jarry plays against the Flames on the 23rd. So that would be 5 out of 7 starts for Jarry between now and Christmas. So basically, I have Pickard starting the 2 Sunday games at Montreal, who he did beat earlier this season in a very odd game in which he gave up 5 goals but made some awesome saves because the Oilers were terrible
Probably
that night.
shouldn't have won that night.
Right, but he actually he made some pretty good saves in that game. So I got Jarry tomorrow, Pickard Saturday in Montreal, Jarry in Pittsburgh.
You have to.
Jarry in Boston, and then Jarry against the Wild because you need Jarry going up against Wallstead, who by then will have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. 21st back home against Vegas. You go Pickard. And then you obviously go Jarry against the Flames on the 23rd. And in Calgary on the 27th.
Yes. Reid, given that the Oilers are in Pittsburgh on Tuesday, I think you're probably right. Give him from Saturday to Tuesday off instead of going Sunday, Tuesday, like I had proposed. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Well, I just think
that's why you're the best in the biz.
You're not. I don't think. I guess I'm saying I don't think Tristan Jarry needs to be protected.
Sure.
I mean, he's the number 1 goalie on the Oilers. Whether or not people listening, I mean, I see the chat. Some people believe he's the number 1 goalie. Some people think this is a terrible trade and he shouldn't have been acquired.
Whether you agree with it or not,
he's the Oilers' number 1 goalie. So you better find out what he can do. So he's played in Toronto before. He's played on Hockey Night in Canada before. If he was a 19-year-old guy that was just called up because of injuries, then I'd say okay, find the right start for him. But put him in the best position. These are the games Jarry's supposed to go in and play well in. I mean, if he's your savior, then he's going to have to excel in tough situations. Yeah, will it be a tough situation tomorrow night? Sure. Go in there and do it. It's going to be great.
Shutout tomorrow.
Great theater.
Shutout.
Probably negative goals.
Yeah, probably 5
negative.
to -2. That's what I'm calling. Here's what I want everybody to do, because coming back out of the break, we're going to start getting into this portion of the show where we always want to hear from you, but we specifically today, right, Reid? Like it, buying it, selling it, doesn't. Let us know how you feel. If you feel this is a fleece job, if you want to vent to us, right? This is an outlet. The River Cree Resort and Casino inbox.
Okay, so here's the other thing. Well, they had to do it to make the money work. Would for the people who are unhappy with this trade, would they be happier if it was Skinner for Jarry with retention, but then you probably have to give up another pick or a prospect instead of Kulak?
Judging from what I've been seeing throughout the day, comments coming in to the Nasty Chat, I think retention is a big deal here. The fact that Pittsburgh did not retain any of it.
Right. So what if you could have made it work? Like, okay,
which means you had to give up Kulak.
Skinner and Howard and the pick for Jarry and $2 million retained, or whatever it would have been to.
You think they would have had to throw in a prospect?
Oh, probably, or something else. I mean, they're kind of running out of first round. The first rounder in 2032. You think 2020? But I'm just saying, for the people who don't like the deal,
I think retention would be the sticking point.
Because here's the thing: there's people who. Like there's different categories of people, right? I think the two categories of the people who are critical of this deal are either saying this is no change in net. You didn't get a better player. This is still hopeless. Or, well, you gave up too much. You didn't hold out for we didn't want to lose Kulak as well, you know?
Or a combination of both. Both can be true. That you thought maybe this is a lateral move. Did you see Eric's tweet earlier, Lieutenant Eric? About
what
lateral move, and he retweeted and said, "That's the point."
Right.
Referencing, obviously, the lack of lateral movement perceived that Stuart Skinner had in the net.
Great discussion, everybody. Keep it coming in. The afternoon inbox, 780-218-9999, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant. $18.99 prime rib special, available 7 days a week, except show nights from 11:30 in the morning to 11 at night. That's available for dine-in and takeout. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. If you are listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, we really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, which also has the video element, you can see Jay's awesome sneak preview of the new Edmonton Sports Talk shirt. I don't think you were supposed to be wearing that today. I think you're leaking.
Happen.
Jay's leaking something.
Spills happen.
Jay is leaking. And also, if you are on YouTube and you haven't done it already, give us the thumbs up. Let's see how close we can get to 200 thumbs. We're almost at 150. Let's soar
come on. We gotta
past
get
that
there.
And beyond.
Let's do it.
All right. So, some of Jay's compiled some of your feedback. We'll have a couple more clips from Stan Bowman. It's Friday, too, so we're still going to do Words of the Day, and we're going to name the animal. That's all coming up in the final hour. Be
two guys and a goalie.
Hired or fired. Of the last 10 years, Cam Talbot would be at or near the top of the list for the Oilers, the one that got away.
Does that have a time limit?
Let's go back. We'll use the McDavid era.
Yeah, I would have to say he's kind of one that got away. I never understood the signing of Mikko Koskinen. It's not like he was shooting the lights out.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences. Plus, all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here, and we're excited to be partnering up with the Nielsen Show and have a special deal exclusive for Nielsen Show listeners. Get 10% off any new Trane furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump installation from now until the end of October. Bundle a furnace with an AC or heat pump and get 25% off the package price. Get your home comfort now for all seasons with Weiss Johnson and Trane. Trane, it's hard to stop a train. Visit wjsportstalk.com today.
You could set up your Christmas tree in the last available spot in the house, or you can create the space you need with Sentinel Storage. Get the most out of Christmas. Buy Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Running your own small business takes courage, and as it grows, so does your team. That's why Alberta Blue Cross offers health, dental, life, disability, and wellness benefits designed for small businesses. Because we know a healthy team means a thriving business. Join over 5,000 Alberta businesses who have chosen us to help their business grow and succeed. Alberta Blue Cross takes care of you and your employees, so you can take care of your business. Visit ab.bluecross.ca to find a plan that's right for you.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
The Oilers have made a blockbuster trade, sending Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick to the Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and Sam Poulin. Another move saw Edmonton shipping a third-rounder in 2027 for 25-year-old Spencer Stastney from Nashville. In Tampa Bay, Victor Hedman will be out until the Olympics. He's set to undergo a procedure on his elbow to repair an injury he suffered Tuesday against Montreal. And there's a pair of games on a light NHL slate, Seattle and Utah matchup, while the Blues and Blackhawks hit the ice. From Toronto, the Jays have signed President and CEO Mike Shapiro to a 5-year extension, getting him locked up through 2030, with Shapiro being a part of the organization since 2015. In other Jays news, left-hander Johan Simon has been traded from the Tigers in exchange for right-hander Chase Lee. And off to the NBA. There's 7 games tonight, including Utah and Memphis, tipping off at 6 o'clock. This sports update is not brought to you by anybody, but Hour 3 of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, I'm eating licorice.
You are? How is it?
It's my appetizer for the Christmas party.
Is that licorice? Or is it...
it's the peely stuff. It's still licorice, isn't it?
What's it called, though? They don't state it as licorice on the package. It's the one that you can twist and or pull and peel?
Yeah, whatever
but
it's called.
It's still licorice, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's a licorice substance. Very healthy. It's like eating a tire.
It's a good appetizer. Should we do a limerick?
Please do. Email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right, this comes in from Vexed Rage Montenegro. It is Friday, after all. Stu Skinner's gone. No more whipping boy. Meow, Jarry's the goalie to deploy. So long, Brett Kulak. No, wait! Please come back! Oh, never mind. Oil fans are born to destroy.
Sorry for people on YouTube watching me pick my teeth. That limerick just sticks, or the licorice just sticks right to you.
Well, so does that limerick.
Yeah, the sticky limerick as well.
Could use it sticking to the bones on a night like tonight.
Oh, my goodness. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Plenty of discussion about the Oilers' trades today. They traveled to Toronto. They will play the beloved Maple Leafs tomorrow at 5 o'clock. 4 o'clock here at Edmonton Sports Talk for the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom Gazzola. And then Saturday, they play the Montreal Canadiens.
Les Habitants.
5 o'clock game as well. 4 o'clock GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show as well. And Tom's on after the game with postgame shows. NFL this weekend, your play of the day is what?
Buffalo Bills, money line. Detroit, Lyon, +6.
Okay.
And that has been boosted to +290.
I'm going to be picking licorice out of my teeth for weeks.
You shouldn't have done that.
I'm going to have to rinse in...
You're going to have to floss.
Turpentine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would that help?
I'd kill you. But it would help.
Not if I just rinse.
Well, some of that's got to get down the hatch. Even in a good rinse, some of that's going down.
Go to the dentist. Like, what have you been rinsing with? I don't know. Turpentine. Quickly on Sunday. So I cheer for the Seahawks. Is Phillip Rivers playing for the Colts to Indianapolis?
I don't know if it's been made official. It's funny. Did you see his press conference?
No, I didn't watch.
They asked him, "Oh, Phillip, what are you weighing in at these days?" And he knows the media from there because he played there. So he says, "Honestly, I don't know." Like he's that retired.
That's what we're like. Stay away from the scale.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah,
out of fear of finding out what it actually is.
Are you overweight? No idea.
Couldn't tell you.
Don't
boss.
want to find out.
As per Colts head coach Shane Steichen, no quarterback decision just yet. Conversations are ongoing, but Rivers looked good and moved around well.
Okay.
TBD, bro.
I cheer for the Seahawks, but were I neutral, I would like the Seahawks in that game.
Now, this comes in
pretty good defense
from somebody that follows the Colts. It isn't difficult to tell who a team is prepping to start. That players is Rivers, period.
Okay. Tell that person, hey, man, thanks.
Thanks, Stephen Holder.
Right back to him.
You want me to?
Or is that on Twitter?
Twitter.
Oh, I thought you texted in.
No, I can.
Okay.
I can text. I can tweet at him. Tweet.
No, that's okay. By the way, portions of this hour presented by Little Buckaroo Design. Since 2015, Little Buckaroo Design in New Sarepta has been saying, heck yeah, we can do that. From heat press and embroidery to rhinestones, sublimation, DTF, signs, and custom decals.
Decals?
Michelle and her team can make it happen. Stop by the showroom at 5063 Center Ave in New Sarepta, or you can call 780-984-2872, or you can check out their website, lilbuckaroodesign.ca. Buckaroo, spelled Buckaroo. Little Lio.
God bless him.
Absolutely. All right, let's hear a little bit more here from Oilers general manager Stan Bowman. Okay, this one is a longer clip, but I think it's relevant because he was asked about losing Kulak and acquiring Spencer Stastney.
He was excellent in the playoffs last year. There's no doubt about that. With where he was in his contract, as far as the last year of his deal. And, we were able to acquire Spencer Stastney, who's 6 years younger, very similar style player. I think, the thing we've liked about Stastney is his excellent mobility. He's a great skater, a lot of quickness, and he's been very effective in the penalty kill, and he's got some offense to his game as well. And I think he's really hasn't reached his his true potential yet. Like, he's 25 years old. So, we've been able to reshape our defense a bit here in the last year to, we've now got 3 guys that are 25 and Bush is 26. So we've got, 4 younger defensemen that are all in those prime years. And I think Spencer Stastney is not someone probably a lot of people are too familiar with, but I do think he plays a very similar style game to Kulak. And that was important for us as part of this deal. We certainly weren't trying to trade Brett Kulak. He's a great person and a great player on our team. We're going to miss him. But in order to make the transaction work and the money going back and forth, that had to be part of it. So we wanted to make sure that we addressed our defense in the same manner, whether it was a separate trade on the same day. And I'm very encouraged by what Spencer can bring to the table. And I think when you get a chance to watch him play, you'll see the similarities there in their games. And I think that's the reason that we're pretty encouraged.
All right. Well, so it seems like Spencer Stastney can skate. He's still got potential. We had Max Herz on from the Nashville Predators broadcast, 102.5 The Game, saying that, he's obviously was battling some mental health issues, was even considering retiring from hockey at a very young age. So he's bounced back from that. So, hopefully he develops and grows into something the Oilers need. I just don't know in this moment right now if the Oilers defense is, well, it isn't. It is, and they don't have Wallman. Like, it's not a totally well-rounded 1 through 6, 1 through 7 D right now. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, even with their number one defensive unit on the ice, they were not performing to the level that Oilers fans had hoped. It was still breakdown after breakdown in their own zone.
Sure.
So is that, you could go on and on and on with this topic. If you had top of his game Patrick Waugh in net, it wouldn't matter some nights based off of the way the Oilers have defended.
Well, and they've been doing better the last 7 or 8 games.
Sure, and guess who else has looked better? Their goaltender.
The goalie, as a result, looked better.
So,
I think Bowman is making this trade not just to win regular season games, he's making it to win playoff games.
Sure.
I mean, he said Jarry's the goalie for the cup runs. Jamie McClennon, who is a regular contributor here on Edmonton Sports Talk, usually on the Nielsen Show, he joined the oil shop. There, everybody. There's some respect for the lock shop. I worked half their name into the show. The oil stream. Jamie McClennon on this trade.
I think the word is different. There's a different style. He's more athletic. I think he's got a cleaner butterfly. So when you look at it, his style might suit the Oilers. Now, I'm going to warn people early on.
Okay.
Keep in mind, his new environment, he's got to learn to play with new D, new systems, new everything, right? He might be familiar with the city of Edmonton, which is great, but he's not familiar with the way that Edmonton plays hockey. So I think, the people thinking there's a savior coming, what they needed was a different style of goaltender. He's a good goaltender. Don't get me wrong. I believe he has more upside than Stu Skinner. But that's not a slight on Stu Skinner. Stu Skinner is exactly, he's a predictable player. He's big, covers a lot of net, uses his size to his advantage. With Jarry, he's a little bit more athletic in the net. I think he's got better feet and better hands. And he handles the puck very well, a lot like Stu. But it's just a different style. He's got a cleaner butterfly. He can move side to side a little bit more fluent. And that might suit the Edmonton Oilers the way they defend.
All right. Well, we'll see. I don't think Stu's a good puck handler. If Jarry's a puck handler like Stu, I think Stu worked at it and improved a little bit, but he's not great. Now, again, it was coming down from Mike Smith. Here's another question for everybody. How much of a grace period does Jarry get? Like, if he's, you got to learn how the guys play in front of you, how the Oilers play. By what point, what if he has a tough game or two? What's the grace period?
How much
5
should
games,
he get,
10
or how
games?
much does he get?
Well, I don't know. People, I want to know how much people would give him. Like, say he plays against Toronto and he just looks clumsy. And he's stopping the puck and he's leaving it in the wrong place for the defenseman, and he's, doesn't look comfortable behind the Oilers defense, even if the Oilers play a decent game defensively. Or is it like, okay, that's one. We got him for 2.5 years, not for one game against Toronto. What's the grace period?
They have 10 games left in December.
Right.
He
could play 8 of them. He might play 8 of them.
I think he's going to play eight of them. I think that's the kind of the timeline.
Right.
Let's see how this pans out. Because I do agree with what Jamie McClennon said. It's not like you can just plug and play and everything's cool and you're playing at your A game.
Right.
He needs to learn how this team defends, how this team breaks out, how this team goes about things in their own zone. That's going to come with practice, which they're not going to get a lot of here, to be quite honest. And they're not going to get much over the Christmas break.
Right.
So you're probably going to have to wait till they're back at home, which I guess wouldn't start till, Calgary, I guess, but that's over the Christmas break.
Right.
So I would say the end of the rest of this month.
That he should be settled in.
8 games, Reid. What's the record that you would say, ooh, okay. What would make your head tilt? Out of those 8 games, Tristan Jarry goes
6-2. That'd be an aggressive
head
very
tilt.
good. Why not?
That'd be a sidewards tilt. 6-2
would be a
very
full-on
good.
curious puppy.
5-3. 5-2-1.
Yeah, even if he's 5-3 and he's looking comfortable and solid. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, Reid. What do obviously all our talk today has been about the goaltending. It'll be interesting to see how this team plays in front of Tristan Jarry. Do you think there's...
Well, they shouldn't play any differently than they tried to play in front of any other goaltender. They should try to play how they played most of this homestand.
Sure. But do you think that has anything to do with who's in net?
It shouldn't.
Confidence-wise.
It shouldn't. I get what you're saying about confidence. And, some nights did they think Stu was going to make the next save if he was having an off night? Probably not, but you should still be a conscientious defender. I don't think you should say I'll fart around tonight because I got a hot goalie back there. I mean, it helps to have a hot goalie, but it shouldn't affect your attitude towards defending. I would hope. I mean, you played safety. Did you ever think, did you have Winkle?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think, we got a great running back. He'll get touchdowns. I can give up a few long passes. You never thought that.
No, you know what it made you do? It made you say, let's bust our ass and get the ball back to the offense.
Right.
So he can take over. So there is that, okay, we got our offense is on fire tonight. Let's get him the ball back. That excites the defense. That's the emotional roller coaster, I guess, of sports. But yeah, I think, the end of December, hopefully 8 games under.
It's
Tristan Jarry's belt.
He's truly meshed with the team now. He's truly settled in.
Yes.
Yeah. Penner's Pancakes in the Nasty Chat. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do so. Let's see how high we can get the total today. We're almost at 150. Penner's Pancakes says, the only game that worries me on the road trip is the one in Minnesota, just because they always struggle against them. The other 4 are very winnable. 3-1-1 homestand could also be a 3-1-1 road trip. Well, you're not winning in Minnesota if Jesper Wallstedt plays, because he might not lose a game for the rest of his career. I mean, he's the best goalie in NHL history.
Clearly.
So
people don't dispute that.
Don't forget about that.
You don't think they're going to be fired up for that game? Not that they need to be fired up, but I mean, that was a competitive game that Minnesota stole in Edmonton.
Yeah, that was a good game. I mean, Edmonton probably outplayed them for the balance of the game. 780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That's the afternoon inbox presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. Sundays and Mondays, 50% off the entire menu. That's available Sundays and Mondays, 5 p.m. until close. All right, fired up for Napoleon, for Gemco, Napoleon Products. In the next segment, Jay has compiled some of your messages and tweets. Now, by he's also included some Pittsburgh fans who maybe aren't listening to the show that he's going to throw at me, and we'll have some fun, or maybe get you fired up as well. Also, name the animal and words of the day still to come. It is snowing out there, so I know you know this, but just if you're going out on the roads, be prepared for a snowy trip and maybe taking a little longer than usual to get wherever you're going. Here's the Coop.
The Oilers have traded Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick to the Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and 24-year-old forward Samuel Poulin. Another trade for the Oilers saw Edmonton sending a third-round pick in 2027 to Nashville in exchange for Spencer Stastney. Following the trade with Edmonton, Pittsburgh has placed Matt Dumba on waivers. On the ice tonight, the Hawks and Blues face off with the Kraken and Mammoth Dance having just 2 games on today's slate. Meanwhile, Bo Horvat of the Islanders will miss up to 3 weeks after suffering an injury yesterday. Lower body against the Ducks. In NFL news, the Jets will start rookie quarterback Brady Cook Sunday in Jacksonville, with Cook making his debut last week in a loss against the Dolphins. And from Toronto, the Jays have signed President and CEO Mike Shapiro to a 5-year extension. He's locked up through 2030, with Shapiro being part of the Jays organization since 2015. There's 7 games in the association tonight, 4 of which are underway. The Pistons lead the Hawks 15-13 with about 6 minutes left in the opening quarter. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces brings us back after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Hockey is heating up, and so is the excitement on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code EST50. That's code EST50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense.
Skip the couch and hit the Canadian Brewhouse. Your home for every puck drop, every goal, and every cheer. With ice-cold drinks, massive screens, and the best fans in town. This hockey season, our house is your arena.
Boxing Day rocks at River Cree. December 26th, live in the venue. Hysteria, tribute of Def Leppard. And Blackout, tribute to the Scorpions. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Sentinel Storage is proud to partner with Toy Mountain in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters Boys and Girls Club. Between now and December 19th, drop off a new unwrapped toy at a Sentinel Storage near you and bring a smile to a child this holiday season.
Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta. Gaming made easy anytime, anywhere. With Play Alberta, you have a full casino experience right at your fingertips. Play from your phone, tablet, or computer whenever works for you. Download the Play Alberta app today and get started with a $50 casino bonus. Just deposit $50 with promo code EST Casino. Play smart, play local, and remember to use your game sense. Go to Play Alberta, look for daily specials, look for EST specials. There's Jay's Play of the Day and a whole bunch of other stuff that we put out there for you. You got something on the Bills for the weekend. Did you have Chicago a couple days ago, the Blackhawks? That was a good. What was you hit last night, didn't you?
Yes.
Oilers win by, see
2
if I
or
can
more.
remember.
Yep.
By 2 or more, a McDavid power play point and a Draisaitl point.
Yes.
You got it.
We got it on 1 goal, the power play goal.
Well, but then they still have to win.
Well, they still have to win.
They still have to win.
That's right. But at that point, they were up. Well, that was up 1-0.
Right.
But it was
so the worst case scenario would have been Detroit getting 1 goal with the goalie out, and the Oilers win 3-2. That would have been a heartbreaker right at the end of the game.
I was puckered up a bit because they had some opportunity, and the Oilers had a chance to score, and Podkolzin hit the crossbar.
What about that one, eh?
Yeah, like I was sitting there oh, come on!
I was thinking, cool, Podkolzin's gonna. He fired it right off the crossbar.
But alas, Hyman got his hat-trick goal.
Good for him.
Great for him.
Yeah, good for him. I put in the Nasty Chat on YouTube, and keep giving us thumbs up there if you haven't. I said, what's everybody doing tonight? Pender's Pancakes. 100 chin-ups in the basement. Oh, cool. Yeah, I just casually throw that out there. Yeah, I'm just doing 100 chin-ups.
Well, I'm sure it's over the course of the evening.
No, I'm not in that great shape. I don't know. Just do 100 chin-ups every once in a while.
He is a very
I'm
in shape
having a fun
man,
time with
obviously.
I think he would know I'm joking around.
He would know.
Watching the last 2 episodes of Physical Asia. What is Physical Asia?
I want to know.
That's not on a website with Hub in the name, is it?
I hope not.
Physical Asia. Sounds like it could be. And then fall asleep to reruns of Degrassi Junior High. Spency, 5 cents, cooking pork chops and staying warm.
Physical Asia is a South Korean reality competition series on Netflix.
Oh, nice. Double A says, enjoying several old fashions, reminiscing of our time with Kulak. That's pretty good. Ace says, rehearsings. I believe Ace is doing a one-man performance of Hamlet in the Park.
Oh.
Yeah, one-man Hamlet.
It's got quite a bit of range.
Jasmine says, did I misname the animal? Name the animal coming up in 15 to 20 minutes-ish. James in the nasty chat, not answering my question, says, how is there no media questioning Bowman's description of 3D with less than 300 games total experience as in their prime? I have never heard of that of being the prime for a defenseman ever. Did he say that? Prime, or did he say that they're entering their prime?
Well, I think he was referring to the
I don't want to replay the entire clip.
To Wallman and Bouchard as entering their prime.
Oh, is that who he was talking about?
I believe
and then
so.
the 3 guys coming
Yes.
on. Right. Yeah.
Greg from Ontario.
Yeah, I want to respond to James's thing because when everybody says the media, I feel like, okay, like what do you want from me, James? First of all, I'm not the media. I'm one person in the media. I'm one broadcaster. So I guess I have to say, like, what do you want from me personally? And I'll tell you if I can do it or not. Because I've talked about that. I've talked about my personal concerns with the Oilers defense as it's currently constructed, especially with Wallman out. Now he's going to come back. Okay? So you're saying maybe James didn't hear the clip as Bowman intended it, that he wasn't talking about Regula, Emberson, and Stastney.
No.
He was talking about Wallman and Bouchard going into their prime.
That's the way I heard.
Right.
Which is probably fair. I don't think he's saying Spencer Stastney is in his prime. This is his first year as a full-time member of the Nashville Predators.
Right.
Is there upside? Sure. Who knows? Nobody knows that. Is there downside? Sure. But guess what? You could remove him off your roster at the end of the year, no problem.
Right.
It's really a no-risk play with bringing Spencer Stastney in, other than to know that you have a hole to fill on defense that was left void of Brett Kulak, who which Bowman said has a similar playing style to.
Right. James says, I understand that. I'm just curious about the level of bull that Bowman is allowed to spew. Well, I have no control over what Stan Bowman says. Yeah, again, I'm sorry that James is upset. I feel like I personally have upset James, and because he's on our show asking me questions, but I'm not. I know I can't adequately answer them, so I'm going to send James into his weekend feeling quite angry and disappointed.
You want to apologize?
Well, I think I am indirectly.
You can look into get up close to the camera. You know,
I could weep.
Mm-hmm. This came in the River Cree Resort and Casino.
No, hold on. I'm not done with James.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not done with James.
Okay. What? How far is this apology got to go?
Well, I'm not apologizing. I'm just trying to clarify what his problem is with Reid Wilkins, member of the media who covers the Oilers. Unfortunately, I couldn't be on the Zoom call this morning, so I couldn't ask any questions. I was actually in the car with Matthew Awanek. I would have loved to go on it. It was limited time. Maybe I wouldn't have had time to ask a question or not. I've asked a lot of questions in other situations. But when he says how much BS is Bowman allowed to spew, well, he can spew whatever he wants. And it's the job of shows like this to analyze it and break it down and discuss it with the fans. So to me, actually, James saying that, the process is working quite well because we played the audio. We gave you the man's words, and James is allowed to react to it and say that he doesn't believe that. So I'm not sure where he thinks the process is breaking down. That's all.
We should make this fired up for James.
Fired up?
Sure.
I got a thing for that. For Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon products. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. And I also want James to understand, okay, well, how much is the media allowed? How much is the media going to allow Bowman to speak? Like, I get it. We're there to ask questions, to challenge these people, to some extent represent the fan base and get information to you. But it's also not a debate. There's still decorum and structure. So there's been plenty of times I've asked a question and I've thought the answer was roundabout, misleading, that there wasn't evidence to support it, but I don't get an opportunity to keep the mic and say, well, hold on, Stan, hold on, Chris. I'm lucky enough to have a talk show where I can say, hey, guys, I asked this question, okay? Because we've been talking about it. Somebody brought it up in the chat. It seems like there's a concern with the fan base about it. It's something I noticed. I asked this question. Here's what the coach, GM, or player said. So then on this show, I can say, look, here's what I think of that answer. James, what do you think of that answer? I mean, I don't have the opportunity, nor would it be professional for me to say, hold on, Stan, I think sometimes you might get that, but really in the form of a scrum or a bunch of people asking questions, you really don't have the opportunity to say, hold on, Stan, I think you're full of crap. First of all, that would be frowned upon, not just by the Oilers PR staff, quite frankly, by my employer. Dustin would say, hey, Reid, it's okay you're challenging Bowman, but you use better language than that. You have to use smarter language. You have to be more intelligent than that. So I'm just saying to James, I don't think the process broke down here at all. Now, James, look at the camera. Look at the camera, James. I care about you a lot, okay? Everything I said to you is from the heart, and I just want to relate to you. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. I might tear up.
You going to be okay?
I don't know if I'm going to be okay. I might not be able to go to the Christmas party.
That was good.
What do you have for Fired Up for Gemco?
First time listener, Greg from Ontario. I'm a big Oilers fan, excited to see how the new goalie works out. My feel is that they needed to acquire a better goalie or McDavid is gonzo.
Quinn Hughes traded to Minnesota. Thank you for, who was it that put it in the chat? And Elliot has it. Yeah. Speaking of Fired Up.
Oh, boy. Well, that takes
who put it in there?
Meaning.
Or my buddy Smitty.
Smitty the welder. You get a hug now. Wow.
Yeah, well, Smitty and I have a bit of a man crush. We have man crushes on each other. Now James, too.
Holy smokes, what does that do for Minnesota? I mean, they have the best goaltender in the world.
What's the reaction in Vancouver going to be?
Oh. There might be riots.
Have we seen the return? It better be Bobby Smith. It better be Bobby Smith and Neil Broughton.
This is 1 minute ago, so we will keep you apprised as to what is actually happening with this deal. What's coming back in return to Vancouver. Well,
Minnesota now has the two best players in hockey history.
Ever. I mean, ever. Best goalie ever, the best defenseman ever.
I wonder who...
They should trade for McDavid now.
That's huge. I mean,
well,
the Skinner for Jarry no longer the biggest trade of the day.
Who would you give them? Fire, though. I mean, this has been talked about for what?
I'm just looking at their current roster. Do you have to trade them Brodin? How old is Brodin? Born in 93. Wow, that's older. Faber, maybe? Like, you'd think that the Canucks would want a younger-ish defenseman back. And, well, I mean, there could be a lot going the other way.
Well, there's got to be some draft picks.
Coop? Do you see something, Coop?
No, but would Zeev Buium be off the table? I mean, he's a highly touted prospect who, has been in the league and has made an impact, but he's no Quinn Hughes at this moment.
It depends, yeah. But, I mean, there's
Rossi. That makes the other sense. Makes sense, possibly. Sorry.
Well, I guess let's look here.
Oh, Ross. Okay, sorry. Mike Russo, who's in Edmonton, by the way. He's covering the women's games. There's one tomorrow. Rossi, Buyam, and Ogren, who I don't know much about. Is that a prospect, or is he on the roster? I think he might be a prospect. All right. Yeah, so Zeev Buyam, who's only 20. He just turned 20.
Is that who's going the other way?
Well, this is what Russo is speculating. Or, yeah, he says, I believe it's Rossi, Buyam, and Ogren.
You'd have to
Is that enough? Is that enough? Like, tell me. What do you think in the chat? Is that enough?
Russo also saying a first rounder for 2026 to Vancouver in the trade as well.
Well, yeah, there'd have to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a first in 2026, a first in, like they have their first round picks for 26, 27, 28 still listed on Puckpedia.
Well, that happened fast, eh?
Very. It's good news for Jarry. Takes the pressure off. Man, isn't that some? Well, I guess that puts a little bit more into the game coming up next week. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The Oilers will be...
It's next Saturday.
Next Saturday in Minnesota. A matinee. Wow.
All right. Well, we'll see what it's official now, but that is significant. I mean, that's...
Drager saying yes. Hughes to Minnesota for Minnesota's first round pick in 2026. Marco Rossi, Liam Oren, and Zeev Buyam.
Okay. Is that going to knock anybody's socks off in Vancouver? I don't know if it will. Well, I mean, you're trading one of the what? Am I being modest calling Quinn Hughes a top 5 defenseman in the league? Should I be saying top 3? Should I be saying top 2?
It could be top 3, I think. Right?
I think he's the second best defenseman in the NHL. Some nights he's better than Cale Makar, who would probably be the cream of the crop.
I mean, I think Cale Makar just gets that little extra boost because he's a big body too.
I mean, Quinn Hughes
he's played a little longer. Okay.
Fit nicely.
That's a good return though, Reid. First round draft pick and then a high end prospect. Like,
yeah.
Zeev Buyam's.
He has 14 points on the season.
Yeah,
too.
no, fair enough.
He's an offensive guy.
No, fair enough.
Like, and you would expect a haul coming back. I think that's a haul.
Liam Ogren, the Wild first round pick in 2023, 19th overall. He's a left winger. He's played 18 games this season, has 0 points. He has played 28 games prior to this season. He had 7 points. He's from Stockholm. He's listed as 6 foot 187. So a first round pick who, well, obviously has not produced anything offensively. Did he play against the Oilers? I don't even remember.
I don't recall. Does it like is Vancouver now officially rebuilding? Or is this they're trying to bandage over this? I mean, they've lost some high end talent from that team.
Yes.
I guess with acquiring the first round pick, sure.
That's a huge story.
That's a big trade.
Okay, well, unfortunately, this interrupts all the work you did.
Reid?
Compiling some of the stuff.
I couldn't care less.
That's incredible. All right. Yeah, that's big. That's a big one. So the Oilers making a trade that's big here in oil country. This Vancouver one is going to send more shockwaves around the league. I mean, one of the best players in the league getting traded. How old? I can't remember how old. Hughes is 26. For some reason, I was thinking he was a little bit younger. But still, I mean, that could be a 10-year player for the Minnesota Wild.
Yes.
7th overall in 2018, 432 points in 459 games. He's an outstanding player. The Canucks obviously not doing great this season. So there we go. That is a massive one. Quinn Hughes traded to the Minnesota Wild. All right. We got to go into our final of the week. Yeah,
I wish we had another hour of this show.
I know. Well, we might stay and do it longer, except we are going to our Christmas party after the show. People are probably going to be mad at us that we're going to have fun.
Dudes just want to have fun. Go eat some food.
We really do. Name the animal, word of the day coming up.
The Oilers have traded Stuart, Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a 2029 second-round pick to the Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and 24-year-old forward Samuel Poulin. Another trade for the Oilers saw Edmonton sending a third-round pick in 2027 to Nashville in exchange for Spencer Stastney. And a blockbuster trade between Minnesota and Vancouver going down. Quinn Hughes is now a member of the Wild. The reported return is Zeev Buium, 20 years old, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick in 2026. Meanwhile, Bo Horvat of the Islanders will miss up to 3 weeks with a lower body injury he sustained yesterday against the Ducks. In NFL news, the Jets will start rookie Brady Cook Sunday in Jacksonville, with Cook making his debut last week in a loss against the Dolphins. From Toronto, the Jays have signed President and CEO Mark Shapiro to a 5-year extension, getting him locked up through 2030. Shapiro being a part of the Jays organization since 2015, and to the association, there's 7 games on the schedule. 4 games underway. It's the Pacers and 76ers going at it. Pacers leading 40-39 with about 9:20 left to go in the second quarter. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Firehouse Subs. Our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Must you click? Click. Must you click? Click.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. So Quinn Hughes has been traded to the Minnesota Wild. And, of course, a lot of discussion today on the Oilers trades. Kulak and Skinner to Pittsburgh for Jarry. Pittsburgh also getting a second rounder in 2029. The Oilers get defenseman Spencer Stastney from the Predators for a third rounder in 2027. So before the Hughes trade broke, Jay had compiled a bunch of texts and tweets from Oilers and Penguins fans. Give me two. Give me two of your favorites. Because you did all that work, and we got bumped.
It's okay. This must be a Pittsburgh person. So this is the tweet. So we didn't retain. got a goalie who has actually won a playoff series, a serviceable defenseman, both of whom are on expiring contracts, and a second for a first-round dud, and the goalie who treated every goal against like it was someone else's fault. I see this as an absolute win.
All right.
They just swapped equally as bad goalies. Brilliant move by Bowman. Truly proves to be the GOAT. And in Dubas, we trust.
Oh, wow. Dubas popular.
The Spider-Man meme was going around.
Oh, yeah.
Jarry, Skinner. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Will it move? Will it coo? Could be a dog, or maybe a hawk. Name the animal. Name the animal.
Name the animal. We're tight for time. Coop's going to play an animal noise. Jay and I got to guess it as quickly as possible. You can play along, but you can't win anything. Which animal is it?
Is it the birds?
Is it the bird or the other thing? It sounds like a fog boat or a tugboat. Not a fog boat.
The one that sounds
The
like
main one.
The main one. The one in the foreground. Yeah.
That's a seal.
No.
Walrus.
No.
Manatee.
No.
Close?
It's a group of the same animals. They're all the same.
It's a bunch of them?
They're all the same. It's a bunch. They're all the same.
Are they? That's a bunch of animals?
Yeah. And they are around water.
Sounds like a phone on vibrate.
Yeah. Sounds like.
I forgot to mute my phone while recording that noise, boys.
Hey, Terry, can you hustle over there and grab the phone? So it's not the bird. That's a bunch of them making that noise?
The one is making the like the honk sound,
Yes.
and then the other one is twiddling about.
Is
But
this
they're
a
all the
water
same
animal?
They're not water animals, but they do swim. They do swim. They
It's
don't
another
live
type
in the
of
water.
turtle.
No. Nobody's pushing something up the hill this time. They don't have shells.
Oh, penguins.
Yeah.
Oh, they're penguins.
There we go.
Hello. Wait a minute. So what? Play it again.
Okay.
Is that a penguin?
Yeah.
And what's
a penguin
that?
honking. That's also a penguin. And the other one.
Well, they're both penguins.
they're all
I think you can hear the seagulls in the background.
There might be a seagull in the back.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't see
what
them.
I was mixed up.
I know. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry,
off.
guys.
I'm
I'm sorry,
often-
guys. You named like
I'm
three
often
animals.
mixed
All
up.
three animals in there.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Okay, words of the day presented by the Edmonton Public Library. Cooking for a Cause. Check it out on EPL.ca. It's a great team building activity for groups who would like to learn how to create elevated dishes or set up a fun cooking challenge with your group. EPL.ca. All right.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
I've been having a pretty good week.
It has been good. It has been good. Oh, I got carried away. I didn't have this properly prepared. First word of the day, waggish. Waggish.
Well,
you might be described as waggish.
W-A-G-I-S-H. W-A-G-Y-S-H. W-A-G-G-I-S-H. All right. This is someone who is playful and sarcastic. Well, you gave me a hint.
Waggish describes someone who is silly and playful, and especially someone who displays a mischievous sense of humor. That's you.
Thank you. Do I get a full point for the definition?
Oh, yeah. You're 1 out of 2. You're rocking a
Thank you.
50% average right now going into the Christmas party. Opsomaniac.
Oh! Opsomaniac?
Yes.
Okay, well, you always tell me to trust my gut, right? Opsomaniac?
Opsomaniac.
Opsomaniac. Opsomaniac. Opsomaniac. What does the prefix opso mean? I mean, op makes me think of optometrist, which has to do with eyes.
It comes from the Greek word opsin.
Okay, which I don't know what that is. What could that possibly be? I better take a sentence. I already have 2 points, so I'm already at 50%.
Deb, you really are quite the sushi opsomaniac.
It's someone who really likes a specific type of food.
Wow!
Well, that was a pretty easy sentence, but I'll take it. I'll take something easy all the time.
Hey, 2.5 out of 2.
Out of 4.
4. I always do.
You did that yesterday. You were like, you got 4 out of 1.
Yeah.
It's like my slugging percentage.
I wonder how Terry the Turtle feels about 4 out of 1.
Well, he's confused. Oh, my goodness. Okay. You know what? I think Ben Thompson is going to give us a ride. What? I think I hear him coming now. What a show, everybody. So, Jarry, hopefully his debut tomorrow. Hello Hockey with Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell, 10 a.m. to noon tomorrow on Edmonton Sports Talk. And then at 4 o'clock, Tom is back hosting the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, leading into the Oilers and Leafs at 5 o'clock. Hope you have a great evening. It's an honor to do the show with you. On behalf of Zach Kubish and Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Take care.